If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna try, maybe you could be with me, but only for a night. And I'll leave the window open, baby. Leave our key outside the door. We don't need to tell nobody, but I think I'm ready to be only for a night. If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna try, maybe you could be with me, but only for a night. And I'll leave the window open, baby. Leave our key outside the door. We don't need to tell nobody, but I think I'm ready to be You know it, oh Lord, you know it, for someday. You know it, oh Lord, you know it, for someday. You know it, oh Lord, you know it, for someday. You know it, oh Lord, you know it, for someday. You know it, oh Lord, you know it, for some. You know it, oh Lord, you know it, for someday. You know it, oh Lord, you know it, for some. You know it, oh Lord, you know it, for someday. You know it, oh Lord, you know it, for some. If you wanna stay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Talladega Superspeedway for round number 14 of the iRacing Sim NASCAR Fever Series. We are on tap to go underway with 100 laps around this massive superspeedway. And before we get all to that, ladies and gentlemen, I am Mike Taylor up in the booth with my good buddy Dakota LaRue, and we are the iCaster Racing Network powered by iRacing. Dakota, it's Talladega, and I am waiting for mayhem today. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I want to see side by side racing, but from a broadcaster point of view and a viewer point of view, we all want to see the big one. That's going to be, when is it going to come? What lap?
That's definitely the ultimate question, is not if, but when. And these drivers have always been pretty decent about that. And let's go ahead and take a look at your race information for today's amazing event. It is the Die Hard 250 here at Talladega Superspeedway. This is a homage to the original Die Hard 500, but we're only going to do just about 100 laps around here for 250 miles. We will have two stage breaks, and they will be on laps 25 and 60. These cars, once again, here in the ISNF series, it is going to be 60% fuel, and they will have 4 extra tires. Your defending winner of this race is Shane Posey, but he is no longer running with this league. Your Larry McNugget for today. There are no previous winners here at Talladega Racing today. So at the end of this day, somebody brand new will hoist the trophy, and the question is, who will it be? Your average cautions is just about 11, including the stage breaks, and the record of cautions was 17, and that was back in season 3. Your average lead changes, you're going to see that happen multiple times, but your average lead changes, it's just about, 30 lead changes. And your record here in the ISNF series was also back in Season 3 with 51 different leaders. Your track length is a 2.66 mile track in Talladega, Alabama. Your track temperature is currently 103 degrees, and that is actually pretty hot. Dakota, would you like to go ahead and finish out talking about our weather for today?
Uh, Give me one moment. Sorry, I was looking at my Discord notes real quick because I was getting some notes, so I'm a little lost at the moment. We was getting some messages from the owner about some things that we need to take care of right quick. So, where's we at? I apologize.
Weather. Let's take a look here at our weather today.
Okay, sorry about that. The weather's going to be about 85 with the temperatures rising. We're going to have winds changing directions from west to southwest of around 6 miles per hour throughout the day. So, as you said, the track temp is about 103. We'll expect that to get a lot higher, and that's possibly going to make these drivers get a little loose whenever they're being pushed and such, but we'll see how that plays out.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yes, I did that on purpose. Absolutely. Now, out of all these drivers that we are looking at today, who are you going to keep your eye on to win this race today?
That's a hard one. Let's see. I'm I'm really gonna have to go with my buddy Matt Metler. He did a race here the other night in another league, and he got a really good finish. He's been doing good all week in officials, and I know he's a pretty strong plate track racer. But as a second pick, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna go Bob Wyckoff.
Bob Wyckoff is definitely a really good choice here today. I am actually going to keep my eye. Oh, hmm. I'm going to go for an underdog here today, and I'm going to go with actually Rhea Ferris in that number 12 Ford. She's been pretty quick at super speedways, and I believe she has a couple wins, outside of ISNF on super speedways. So I think I'm gonna watch Rhea Ferris in that number 12 today, and that is going to be our picks for today. But let's go ahead, and I have a pretty cool thing to show you guys that I've been working really hard on. Here is going to be Rhea's top 5 picks today. She has chosen Chris Otto, Kyle Benson, Tony Fry, Joey Maines, and Andrew Miller, but she has actually changed that to go with uh, who does she say? Since Andrew Miller is actually not running today, she's going to go with Cody Meadows in that number 21 machine. And the dark horse is going to be that 17 of Alyssa Sharp. And talking about subbing drivers, let's go ahead and oh, here it is. I got lost here for a second. And talk about your substitute drivers. Let's take a look at your substitute drivers for today. We have Rhea. I'm sorry. Michael Giberson. He's going to be in for Eric Jorgensen. Rhea Ferris. She will be in for Christian Delgado. Chris Coppernol. He will be in for Michael Hofledason. Ethan Farless. He will be in for Justin Barkley. David Anderson. He will be in for Joshua Grosso. Uh, Gabe Ledger, he will be in for Dylan Basin. Martin Roberg will be in for Angel Hernandez. Jaden Wicks will be in for Andrew Miller. Will Austin, he will be in for Zach Phillips Sr. today. And Dylan Smith will be in for Nick Miller today. So, pretty cool overlays there. I hope you guys do enjoy that. I'm still going to have more work to do with those, but I am super excited to be able to present those to you here for the Die Hard 250 here at Talladega. And before we start anything else, let's go ahead and take a quick sneak peek at our points for today. On up top, it is actually still Dylan Basin, and he's going to be right behind. Let me verify those. Whoops. All right, just wanted to just double check. So those point standings are correct, ladies and gentlemen. Your top 18 is Dylan Basin, Angel Hernandez, Michael Hofledason, Justin Barkley, Christian Delgado. And I believe the complete top 5, they are all actually not here today. So Cody Meadows in that number 21 for Wood Brothers, he has a good opportunity to make up some points on a lot of these drivers. Nick Miller, he's also not here today. Charles Robertson, Craig Lautenslager, Danny Solo, he'll be rounding out our top 10. Then you have Mark Gonzalez, Tony Fry, Chris Otto, Justin Johnson, Joseph Maines, Alyssa Sharp, Jeff Weimer, and Chris Van Mastert in that number 38 machine will round out your top 18. So let's go ahead and head down to the track, and let's we have probably just about a minute or so here, or about 30 seconds before we actually head to our qualifying session. Let's go ahead and try to drag a couple drivers up here. What do you say?
All right, who would you like to drag up here first?
Oh, let's go ahead. Let's interview somebody that we don't really interview very often. And let's get Jaden Wicks in that number 54 machine.
You have to give me one moment here. How's it going, Jaden? This is Dakota and Mike up in the booth.
What's up?
Hey, Jaden. So you are piloting the number 54 today. What are your thoughts leading up here into qualifying? You did come up, I believe, seventh on there in practice. So what's your thoughts and your strategy for today's race?
Mainly, I'd like to thank Rhea for letting me get this opportunity at 54. But honestly, just hold, right in the back till come down to the final laps and go for it. Honestly,
Yeah, that definitely seems like a really good strategy there. Um, staying out of the big one's going to be one of your biggest things today. So we're going to go ahead and throw you back down and let you get back into qualifying. And good luck.
thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that was the driver of the number 54 machine of Jaden Wicks.
I think I threw him back in the wrong server. Do you know what server he was in?
He's in with the 54, so
JGR, right?
I believe so. Yeah, yeah. Joe Gibbs Racing, yes sir.
I moved him to the wrong Joe Gibbs Racing. There's two of them.
Gotcha.
There we go. All right. Anybody else want to interview during qualifying?
Go ahead and bring up anybody you want.
Let's interview Alyssa.
Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead and bring Alyssa uh, up in that number
Uh,
17 machine.
Hey, Alyssa. I know you're qualifying at the moment. Would you be up to try to do an interview right quick?
yeah, no, I'm not on track yet, so that's fine.
How do you think the track heating up over the race is going to affect the pushes and stuff? Because the track temp is pretty high for today.
It's left side tires tend to wear more, so it's going to be it's with it heating up. It's you're not going to have a lot of wiggle room to save the car. You're just going to build too much of a thermal load within the tire, to where it's just going to be so easy to lose grip at even on the slightest of wrong pushes, which with this field can send a lot of cars off the track.
All right. Sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit. What is going to be your strategy for today? Are you thinking about riding around in the back, or are you going to try to push towards the front as soon as possible?
Ride and be there at the end. If I'm closer to the back, I have more chance to avoid the wrecks instead of being in there, because any wreck that happens, it's more than likely going to be from the front. So at the end of the day, ride first two stages, be there at the end where the big points are handed out.
Fair enough. One last question. How many laps before you were three wide, if you had to guess?
The first lap, some people are going to be dumb enough to try it.
Oh, well, we'll see how that plays out. I appreciate you taking time to interview with us. I know y'all are getting ready to qualify. Good luck in your race today.
Merci.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's the 17 of Alyssa Sharp out of France. Glad to see her back out here on getting ready to start her qualifying laps. We're watching Austin Hill here in that number 88 for Trackhouse, as he is actually taking that high side. And if I'm not mistaken, these drivers, I believe they get 3 laps for qualifying.
We can look right quick, I believe. Yeah, it looks like they get 3 laps.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and ride on board here with Chris Otto in that number 6 machine for Roush Fenway Kozlowski Racing, as he is coming through the travel to the start finish line here, and he will start his first lap, or start his second lap. Is that his first lap? Yeah, yeah, his first lap.
Oh no, they get 4 laps. I don't know why I said 3. My bad.
They do get 4 laps. Interesting.
Yeah, that was my bad.
Yeah, all right.
A little under the weather today, losing my voice. You know, I'm a little behind.
It's all right. No worries, brother. We still love you either way. And I definitely want to thank you so much for coming out and uh, being entertaining with me here today. As we have Chris Otto now coming across start finish line now to complete his first lap. As you can hear, he just shut it down, and he will bring his machine all the way up to that 10th spot with or ninth spot with a 53.821. And let's see if we can find Justin Johnson in that number 20 or yeah. Oh, Alyssa Sharp is actually getting ready to finish up her first lap in that number 17 machine. Alyssa Sharp in that bodyguard Ford Mustang, and she is currently sitting 25th with a 54.65. Ready, here she comes through the tri-oval, taking advantage of everything she can here. And she is going to jump 11th with a 53.828. What a really good run there for Alyssa that time by. Let's see who else is out here qualifying. Justin Johnson, he's finished up his second lap already, as he's now going to climb the banking in his Pennzoil Shell Ford F-150 or Ford F-150. I got trucks on my mind. Ford Mustang. And he is.
I mean, we did have a race last out in the trucks. To be fair, we broadcasted for
That we
another
did.
series, but it might be throwing us off our game a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, and that will throw Justin all the way to the 5th spot with a 53.789. What an incredible run for him here in qualifying. It's like Alyssa Sharp is coming down the back straightaway once again, heading up into turns 3 and 4. She's going to try to better her time of a 53. Yeah, 53.83. So let's see what she can do here. And to the line, that will keep her 12th. Roughly about the same lap time. So we have just about 30 seconds here before we get going. Let's try to drag the 47 of Thomas Flynn up here into the booth. He's with Hayek Motorsports.
Yep, no problem. Just give me one moment to find them here. You said you wanted me to drag who again, just to double check?
His name is Hyatt. Or I'm sorry, Thomas Flynn.
All right, he's in the Hendrick
Yep,
at
Hendrick.
the moment. There we go. And then, how's it going, Mr. Flynn? It's Dakota and Mike up in the booth. We was wondering if you'd take time to do a small little interview before your race.
Sure. Can you
All
hear me?
right. Yep.
All right, Thomas.
All
So
right, Mike, I'll let you take over.
yeah, so Thomas, you were able to get that number 47 Chevrolet on the pole today. So you've got a good stack of 45 drivers that are hungry and going to try to eat away at you here at the start. What's your plan for starting on the pole, and what do you got to do to keep that car out front all day?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. This is a crazy track here, but I actually have an end of the line penalty from last week, so I got the pole, but I'll be going to the rear.
Okay, so let me rephrase my question. What is your plan now that you got to start at the back of the pack? How are you going to work your way back to the front by the end of this 100-lap race?
Yeah, we just got to stay out of contact. There's going to be some crazy wrecks here, obviously, but just got to run clean, be clean on pit road, and hopefully we can end in one piece.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good plan. So just run clean, keep your nose clean, and avoid the big one. And good luck out there.
Appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely. Thomas Flynn driving that number 47 non-vegan Chevrolet. All right,
We got one more to do. Hold on.
let's go ahead and do one more.
I gotta bring Rhea up here. Gotta get her interview in for the day. How's it going, Rhea? It's Dakota and Mike up in the booth. You got a copy?
She is muted in server. She actually says server muted next to her name.
Yep, I got to. I done forgot where I pulled her from, so it's gonna take me a minute to put her back.
Well, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can.
The Discord.
There it is.
There are some penalties that'll be served here after we take the green. Admins are working on that right now as we speak, getting people in position to serve those black flags from previous races.
I think I know why she was muted now.
Did you remute
So,
her?
yes.
Okay.
We'll wait until she's done, and then we'll get her interview.
Yeah, if anything, we'll bring her up under the first caution. Most likely she was down with the other Penske drivers.
Yeah, I'm working on that right this minute.
No problem.
I hope so. If not, we'll find out shortly.
Oh yeah. Alright, the cars are getting ready to roll off. Let's go ahead and bring another Hendrick driver up. Let's go ahead and bring up Bob Wyckoff. That'll be your pick for today. And I'll let you do that interview with him.
How's it going, Bob? It's Dakota and Mike up in the booth today. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do.
All right, we wanted to get a quick interview, if you don't mind, before your race starts. I know y'all getting ready to go green. You're my pick to win today. What do you think you need to do to get your number 9 machine into victory lane?
Just keep it clean mostly. Usually I have a problem keeping it clean. I get caught up in other things, people's wrecks. Other than that, I do have a drive-through from last week, so I'll be taking a penalty at the start of the race and then going from there.
All right. Do you have any worries with the track temp possibly going up with the big pushes and stuff you can get at Dega?
No, I think I can get enough air outside of it to keep it cool.
All right. Well, I hope you have a good race, man, and hopefully you'll build. Well, not hopefully, but maybe there'll be a caution. You'll be able to get caught back up to the back before you go a lap down or anything early here taking your black flag.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be a caution. I'm sure we'll get one in the first 5 laps.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm gonna move you back down to your server, and good luck in your race.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, driver of the number 9 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports, Bob Wyckoff. The drivers are now up here in turns 3 and 4, so we're going to make our way back up here towards the front. That number 54 of Jaden Wicks, he will be on the pole here today. Very strong qualifying for him up there in that third spot. And with your pole sitter having to go to the end of the rear, it's going to be in the hands of Jada Wicks as we get ready to go green flag racing. Alrighty, we are in that restart zone, and the green flag is out. And we are underway right here for the ISNF round number 14 of the Die Hard 250 250 right here at Talladega, and Wicks got out to a really good jump, and Justin Johnson in that number 22 Pennzoil machine, he's doing a really good job at keeping him right there on his tail, probably exactly where he wants to be here. But here comes that outside lane being pushed by Joey May, or getting pushed by I believe that's Chris Van Master in that number 38 machine back there. And now they're doing probably just about 180 mile per hour pace lap at this moment, but their speeds are still going to be faster, as it still takes just about a lap and a half to get these cars up to full salt.
So, the Cup cars are very good to build around the outside here, especially using the side draft and the travel on the corners. So, we might be able to see the outside lane prevail coming to this backstretch here.
Yeah, that's a very good point. 45. What paint scheme do you see on the 45?
Give me one moment here. Beast. Monster Energy.
Alright, so you're seeing the Beast, and I'm not. So let's go ahead and get that the paint schemes updated here once again, as Chris Van Master. Oh, we are under caution. Looks like
something happened in the back of the pack coming out of 4.
Yeah, looks like it was Shane Griffin in that number 43 machine. Let's jump back, take a look, see what happened to Shane.
Excuse me.
Oh, he got turned.
Designer Dale Sr.
Holy crap.
I hate to call it that, but I call that the Dale Sr. when you go head on into the wall like that.
That was a really, really hard hit there for Shane Griffin. Let's go back and take a look at that one more time. And let's just go a little bit on the slow-mo here. He just got clipped by that number 13 of Dylan Lansdale, and he got turned hard into that outside wall. Look at that.
Yeah, it's one thing we're probably going to be seeing a lot tonight. Sorry. With the heavy amounts of draft that these guys get, it's really hard to let off in time and not push into somebody. So we're probably going to be seeing a lot of that tonight, especially with the 40 car field, or 45 car field.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be one of the things to watch here today. Well, something that we forgot to do is go over the starting lineup, because we were doing interviews and it totally slipped my mind. So we're going to go ahead and take a brief moment here while we're under caution. And we're going to go over the starting lineup and how they qualified here. Okay, why are the qualifying results not showing now?
Probably because the race started.
There we go. So Thomas Flynn in the number 47, he started on the pole but had to take that EOL at the start of this race. So that brought Jaden Wicks up to that pole position. Joey Maines was on his outside. And then Chris Van Mastert was up in fourth. Justin Johnson, followed by Martin Robert, John Hopley, Jamie Kerr, Charles Robertson, Pat Wilkinson was your top 10. Row 6 was Chris Otto with Alyssa Sharp. Row 7, Kyle Benson and Christopher Walker. Row number 8 was Matt Metler and Gabe Ledger. Row number 9, Chase Harden and Mike Iskandar. And then we have row 10, Josh Coppernell and Cody Meadows. Craig Lautenslager and James Bold makes up row 11. Row 12 is Chris Bishop and Will Austin. John Dubois in that 25th spot, and to his outside was Dylan Smith. Steven Sire in that number 5 machine was going to be on the inside in the 27th spot. Rhea Ferris in the number 28th spot. Danny Solo, Mark Gonzalez, row 15. Row 16, we have David Justin and Tony Fry. Row 19, or no. I just went from 15 to 19. How did I do that? So row 17 will be Michael Giberson and Larry Fairman. Jimmy Johnson and Philip Manzo, followed by Shane Griffin, Jacob Treat, Dylan Lansdale, Scott Trusty, Nicholas Johnson and Ethan Farless, David Anderson, Bob Wyckoff, Brian Treadwell will round out your qualifying results and starting lineup here today, as the cars are now doubled up here once again.
So I do want to take time to point out that they do have one faster pair, and the 43 has already had to use his, as I believe he got meatballed after that first incident, so he's going to have to be very careful with there still being at least 97 laps left in the race.
Yeah, definitely.
Around in there.
Definitely going to have to watch this, as we actually have quite a few drivers who came down pit road under this caution. Let's see. Yeah, quite a few drivers. Starting off here with Jimmy Johnson and that number 62 machine out of Orlando, Florida. Bob Wyckoff. He came down. Martin Roberg, Ethan Farless, Michael Giberson, Tony Fry, Jamie Kerr, Nicholas Johnson, David Anderson, Brian Treadwell, Christopher Walker, Matt Metler, Jacob Treat. He's currently still sitting down there on pit road. Not sure what's happened here with him. Take a look, as okay, that's not who I was looking for here. Yeah, I'm not showing, but the pace car is off, so we're going to go ahead and get this thing back going, ladies and gentlemen. And leading them to the green is going to be Joey Maines in that number 48 machine, with Chris Van Mastert to his outside. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. We are green flag racing once again here at Talladega Superspeedway. This time, Joey Maines gets an incredible launch, but I think it might have had a little bit too big of a launch, because the 54 of Jaden Wicks had to let up and allow him to go to just about the speed that Maines was. But that inside line is doing a phenomenal job getting themselves back in line, get going. As you see, Chris Van Mastert in that number 38 machine continuing to fall back. And he finally got picked up here by John Hopley in that number 4 machine. Here comes Justin Johnson to the outside. He's looking for a piece of that racing lead. And the two cars out front got a little bit of a distance between them, and that allowed them to pull up just a little bit. But now that 44 of Wilkinson, he's not right there on the back bumper of the 22, so that's going to slow down that momentum on the outside just a little bit there. But here comes Justin Johnson back to the outside of Joey Maines as they now fire down the back straightaway.
And it appears the 99 had to do a drive-through, so he's just now able to get back on the track and get back up to speed.
Yeah, these guys are now running 3 wide, probably back there for about that. Oh, let me see if I can find them first. There they are, this big old gaggle of cars up here. Right around where Thomas Flynn is in that number 47 machine. He's already back up to 20th after having to fall to the rear, but he's hanging out in that middle lane in a 3 wide situation as they come out of turn 2. And these cars can comfortably run 3 wide with not much of a problem, unlike, you know, Daytona or even over in Atlanta on the new surface there. So they're, as long as they leave plenty of room, they can sit here and run 3 wide lap after lap.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but it's just mainly the nerves of having someone on both sides of you when you're going around 200 miles an hour. It'll get to you at some point, possibly.
Oh, absolute. That is definitely a thing. You know, when it comes to running 3 wide here at Talladega and I'm stuck in the middle, I kind of treat that middle lane as my own lane. So I know as long as I stay in between those 2 white lines, I should be pretty good to go.
The outside is just looking really good today. Like, they're getting really good runs. Just keeping up with the inside pack here.
Yeah, that third lane, however, is starting to get all combobulated there and starting to fall apart. That 77 of Craig Lautenslager, he's doing his best to keep himself out front. But let's go ahead and jump back up here to your race leader, Chris Van Master, in that number 38 machine. He's doing himself pretty good out here out front, but here comes John Hopley in that number 4 machine. And he gets out pretty decent there, and he brought Charles Robertson with him.
I don't know if you've seen that or not, but it looked like the 54 was about to make a move, try to go down in the middle to try to get on the inside there, but was unable to do so.
Yeah, the holes here, they close up really quick. You know, so if you're going to make a move, you got to make it kind of quick, but you don't want to wait too long because that other lane may have too much momentum, and they could end up just driving right through you, causing a big crash that we all don't want to see.
And right as I said, the outside line is working well today. Everybody drops to the inside, and the outside lane completely dies.
Yeah, especially right there, probably back to where Mark Gonzalez and Rhea Ferris is. You know, she's out there on the outside with not really much help as they come around turns 3 and 4 here. Seems like, you know, if they can get that outside, you know, just chugging along and not run 3 wide, I think that outside lane could possibly actually hold some momentum as we have more cars now jumping up to that outside lane. Pat Wilkinson in that number 44 machine, he's hanging out comfortably right now on the inside lane up in that 6th spot. So he's doing pretty good as a if I'm not mistaken, they're a underfunded driving team as well. So, you know, he's doing pretty good right now up in that 6th spot. Everybody's, you know, just trying to get into a rhythm here at Talladega, and You know, with them keep trying to go 3 wide, I don't think there's going to be much of a rhythm that they can get into just yet. One of the biggest things here at Talladega, you know, everybody says, oh, it's, you know, you're just racing with your foot to the floor. How much do these drivers actually have to lift, you know, in this kind of a draft here at Talladega and even Daytona?
The only person or the only people running with their foot to the floor is probably the first car and maybe the second car at some points, but most people are probably about half throttle. I've even been able to make it around the track at a quarter throttle. Depends on how many vehicles you got with you. As we just seen a huge run on the outside and a pass for the lead there.
Big movement coming from Rhea Ferris as she's trying to push. I believe that's the 33 of Kyle Benson in that third row. She got into him just a little bit too hard there, made him squirrely. Yeah, that is that 33 machine of Kyle Benson. She's trying to get that third lane moving. The
We're
54.
starting to see some moves.
Yeah, we're starting to see a lot of movement, and they should not look now, but they are getting ready to put, who was that out? Is that Dylan? Yeah, Dylan Smith in that number 99 machine. They're getting ready to pass him, and usually coming 3 wide on the lap car, he was smart. He went ahead and took it down onto the apron. Now this tri-oval, there is still plenty of room to move, and he can run down there without, you know, having to worry about coming up onto the track. But he's just got to be careful here as he re-merges with the field entering turn 1.
Pretty smart move from him. I mean, good. Good to get out of the way there, especially with them being 3 wide.
Yeah, definitely a really good, you know, smart move there as these drivers are now still running 3 wide, but now Danny Solo is up in front of Rhea Ferris in that number 12 machine. Rhea and Danny are really good buddies, and so it won't surprise me to see those two actually trying to work as much as they can today here at Talladega, but unfortunately right now they are still falling towards the back as there's only 3 of those cars to the outside.
Yeah, we have a new race leader, Charles Robertson. Followed by the 6th car. Him and the 6th car just pushed towards the front. Was able to drop down in time with a huge run on the outside. The outside is working wonders today. This is probably the best I've seen the outside looking in a while.
Yep, so far that outside lane, you know, if you have, that, as you say that, a lot of movement just happened right behind them. And so, we have one car that blinked out, is blinking back in. Now they're going 4 wide. Hold on to it, everybody. Stay in your lanes, you'll be just fine. As we have some cars right up against that outside wall, hanging out back here in the back.
I believe someone lost radio connection during that, and that's what caused that miss there.
Yeah, definitely. We got to get that radio connection fixed on that driver as we're looking at Chris Bishop in that number 71 machine. He's falling all the way back here towards the back. I believe I saw Martin Roberg in that number 45. There he is right there. I don't understand. I will have to take a look at something with my trade in paints because I'm still showing that that 45 car as a no sponsored race car. But he is actually, you know, a Beast Energy driver. Okay, so something that we really don't see very often is 2 drivers, you know, getting way out in front as they coming up on Pat Wilkinson in that number 44 machine. Chris Otto pushing Chris Robertson way out in front. They've gained...
And that is not a position you want to be in, honestly.
No, but it is very rare to actually get 2 cars, you know, to work well together and actually just pull away from the rest of the pack. As you saw briefly in the back, they run 4 wide as they're getting ready to put the 23 of David Anderson a lap down. James Bowles and Joey Maines, they're working together with the rest of the pack now and getting back to the back bumper here now of your race leaders as they continue to run side by side. Right about that 6th position on back, Chris Van Mastering and Mark Gonzalez running side by side for that 6th spot.
I honestly was expecting once they pulled away that little pack back there was going to go around them, but luckily they decided just to pull back up and cruise.
Yep. The next lap down car that they're coming up on, I believe it's going to be that 16 machine of Josh Coppernoll. We got a lot of movement back there right around, who is that? The 2 machine of Mark Gonzalez. And they are now 4 wide with 1 car on the apron, but they were able to go ahead and get themselves figured out before they really got into the corner. So, that was
It also
close.
appears we got someone getting ready to go down the pit, so we need to watch for that here.
Yes,
Luckily they were in the back.
yeah, we are now working lap 21 coming to the line. So, how far can we go on fuel in these race cars at 60%?
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you. I have to go. Let me double check something right quick, and I'll get back to you on that one.
If I'm not mistaken, normally they can go right about 40 laps, just around estimate here, with full tank. But with them only running 60%, they only can run just about 24 to 27 laps, depending on.
I feel like it'd be around 20 laps of 60%, because I believe 75 is about 25 laps, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But they did have the early caution, so they should be fine to make it to the stage, because I believe stage is also at lap 25, coming up in 3 laps here.
Let's see. Yep, lap 25 will be the first stage. And we're going to. Right now, Rhea Ferris is holding down that 10th spot in that number 12 machine, as they are now quickly approaching. I think that's Mike Iskandar in that number 1 machine.
Who I believe did an early pit before the stage, maybe to gain some track position.
Yep, contact between John Hopley and Iskandar, but Iskandar went ahead and pulled it out off the racetrack and slowed it down, and he's going to probably lose even more time slowing down here as we have this massive field, because we have 45 cars on track. Well, we normally only have maybe, 35 to 36 cars on a normal week, but everybody loves racing these super speedways, so we have just about 10 more cars than normal. So it's pretty awesome to see all these guys and gals out here racing, to take home the trophy here at Talladega. And here comes Alyssa Sharp in that number 17 machine. She is pushing Mark Gonzalez towards the front here. Oh, we have trouble in the back. The 77 of Craig Lautenslager, he's around, and that is going to bring out our second caution of the day. and I believe it was only really Craig Lautenslager who had issues there coming out of turn 2. Let's come back here, take a look, see what happened. We're going to go ahead and slow it down here. As you see, they are working 3 wide coming through turns 1 and 2 here. And then 54 didn't really seem like he knew where he wanted to go. And then Lautenslager tried to pull down behind the 33, but that 34 just had a really big head of steam. And he tried to put his car somewhere where there just was not any room, so he got turned off the 34, and the 34 will go up in front there of the
So,
rest of the cars. So no, not
uh,
really big issues there.
I believe with that caution, it's gonna be stage. So Charles Robertson's gonna be the winner of stage 1.
Yeah, I believe that will bring us to our stage. So Charles Robertson in that number 20 machine, he will get the 10 bonus points for stage, followed by Chris Otto, James Bowles, Joey Maines, Mark Gonzalez, John Hopley, Alyssa Sharp, Justin Johnson, Chris Van Mastert, and Cody Meadows will get your bonus points here for this stage.
All right, are we gonna see some no tire takers here?
On these drivers coming down, and it looks like a lot of them are going to go ahead and take uh, 2 4. Oh, we have one car that missed his pit stops. That was Dylan Lansdale. Now, never have I ever tried to come down pit road with 40 something cars. So that must have been very exciting for a lot of these drivers.
Yeah, I got a feeling trying to come down green flag pits at full speed with 40 cars would be brutal.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Let's go ahead and see what we can do about getting Rhea Ferris in that number 12 machine up here. Let's see if she's able to talk now.
All right, give me one moment here. Do 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 do. Alrighty. How's it going, Rhea? This is Mike in Dakota up in the booth. Got a copy?
Is she still muted?
No.
Hey, Rhea, this is Mike and Dakota up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
There we go. How's your race going so far?
It is going pretty well. Couple close calls, but for the most part, there's a lot of power under this Penske hood, and I'm able to, make some moves when I need to, and trying to work with the other Fords out there as best as possible, trying to keep a Mustang in front of me at all times, if possible. And yeah, the outside line gets a little dicey, and that's where I'm not really comfortable running this part of the race. Maybe toward the end, make some last lap runs and things like that. But I'm going to try and stay toward the inside, give myself an escape route if something does pop off in front of me. But yeah, it's going to be fun. It's interesting. I love it. Glad to be here at Talladega. The next stage break will be lap 60, so it's going to be a fuel mileage game here coming to number 60. So I know some of us are trying to save fuel as well. So yeah, it's fun, man.
Okay, got another question for you. How many laps are y'all getting to a tank of fuel currently? Me and Mike were having a little bit of an argument about it.
22 to 24, depending on what your if you're running up front. If you're running up front, you're going to get garbage gas mileage. So you want to try and stay behind somebody as best as possible. Yeah, you want to get up there, get your 2 bonus points for leading a lap, especially if you're a driver that's on the bubble for the playoffs coming up. But yeah, I know John and Chris got their 2 bonus points there. They also got some stage points, and they're approaching the bubble as well. So they're happy to do that. But yeah, fuel mileage is going to be definitely something to keep an eye on here for the rest of the day. I purposely set it that way. I noticed NASCAR's advanced theirs up 5 laps as well for their stage break. So just try to stay realistic here. So we have at least pretty even amount of stages the first 2 anyway. So getting ready to go back to green here, guys. But good luck in the booth, and hopefully it's a good show for you.
Yep, good luck in your race.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take over that whole thing.
No, that's perfectly fine. You did absolutely amazing. As we are now going back green flag racing. And things are not settling down out here on my end. Everything was going absolutely fabulous, and then there we go. Things are now settled back down. I deeply apologize about that. Not sure exactly what went on there. As you see that number 22 of Justin Johnson now working his way to the outside, trying to take over that top spot.
So, about 22 to 24 laps of fuel in the front. You could probably save a good 2 to 3 laps, maybe. So you're going to have to pit under green regardless here. Well, what's your strategy? Are you staying in the back and saving as much as possible? Or are you going to try to work your way towards the front pit with the front pack?
Give me just a moment. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties up here. Oh my lord. Let me see what I can do about trying to get this little settled down here as the cars now are coming out of turn number 4. We're going to have to do a little bit of radio style here for just a brief moment until I can figure out what is making these cars go berserk over here on my end.
Well, as of right now, Justin Jones is taking over the lead. Chase Harden pushing him hard to get up there. Chris Sardo's currently sitting 3rd. Charles Robinson in 4th, as they've kind of single filed out for the top 5 here. But the outside line is trying to work their way back around and get caught up here. Oh, as we actually are having a wreck coming out of 4. It's going to be 4, 5, 6, the big one. That is going to be half of the field collected in that incident there. See if we can get eyes on what happened here. Looks like there's going to be some contact between the 2 and the 62, as the 62 kind of washed up the track a little bit and got out of the groove, and the 2 had just enough draft to kind of suck him up under him, and it's going to spin him out, and the 62 is going to come back up the track, unfortunately, and nothing he could really do about it. and get back into the field here, as we're gonna have at least a good 10 cars involved in this incident here. I went to go mute so I could sneeze, and I unmuted.
Alrighty. Well, I believe now everything has settled down here on my end. Unfortunately, because my computer having a small heart attack, I'm not going to be able to get back to that replay for you. Um,
But drivers are currently coming to one to go this time, I believe, for the pace laps here. Could be wrong. Nope, one to go. Pace car lots are out. There should be doubling up here, and we should be ready to go back to some green flag action at Talladega Speedway.
Alrighty. So hopefully now everything is settled down here. Chris Otto, he will be outside, or on the inside of row number 1 to his outside, Charles Robertson. Joey Maines to his uh, inside, and Rhea Ferris has snuck her way up there into that 4th spot. So very strong run for Rhea now after starting back in the field. So she's gained 24 spots here since we went green flag racing. And now that my computer has settled down here, let's go ahead and get some good green flag racing in, as we are going to come to 67 laps to go when Chris Otto takes that green flag run.
Why don't you take a look at who's in P7 at the moment?
P67, yeah, that's Larry Fairman in that number 34 machine. I'm sorry, Thomas Flynn in the 47. He has worked his way back towards the front of this field. So good recovery race for Thomas Flynn in that 47. He's supposed to start on the pole, unable to stay there as he had a EOL for a mistake from last week. And he's worked his way now back up into that 5th spot.
I will say on that restart there, the outside line was very quick to drop down and get into the inside as fast as possible here, and they all got single filed out for the most part. It should pay off in their favor, but it looks like people are opting to go to the outside now.
Yeah, here comes that 24 of James Bowles for Hendrick Motorsports. Give me another moment here, you guys. Go ahead and call out the action as they are going. I want to try something here.
So we are 2 by 2, I believe about 10th back, then 3 wide, probably about 20th back, as the leaders have single filed out and tried to make their way safely through these laps to the second stage. Currently being led by Chris Otto, and Joey Maines behind him pushing. The driver's going to be coming out of turn 4 this time by pretty much down to 2 lines here, 10th back, and they're going to be taking lap 36 this time. As the outside line is starting to form now and mounting a push to try to get caught up with these leaders here. This charge is going to be led by Mark Gonzalez, but the 24 of James Bowles has decided to hop over to the outside as well and help them out, as they're currently making a charge towards the front. Currently side by side for 3rd place and still pushing on the outside here, as the 48 is going to hop up there on the outside as well and try to get around Chris Otto. Joey Maines got a huge shove from the 24 and is able to clear Chris Otto and drop down safely as they're getting wiggly for 3rd. Amazing save by the 2 of Mark Gonzalez there, as he was almost completely sideways through the travel. And we have a new race leader of Joey Maines in the 48. Thanks to a good push by James Bowles there, who is currently residing over 2nd, and that'll put Chris Otto back in 3rd. As the outside line had a little bit of wiggle issues out of Mark Gonzalez there, they have fallen back, but they're mounting another push to try to get back up here to the top 10. And sorry, we're missing some live coverage at the moment, folks. We're having a little bit of broadcast issues, so we're just doing it radio style at the moment. As the 24 is taking a small peek here to try to get around the 48 on the inside line, and he decides to go back down here. All right, as the outside line is finally caught up, the 48 is going to go up to the outside and block the 2 And that's going to let the 6 of Chris Otto take back over the lead here as the outside line. After that, Black is starting to fall back, but they're starting to gain momentum coming out of 4. Going through the travel this time for lap to start a lap 39. As Chris Otto and the 24 of James Bowles actually went up to block the outside lane. Chris and James swerving back and forth trying to decide who's going where as they're all getting squirrely. 24 is going to hop to the outside of the 6 here and try to take over the lead, but he has no help. He's dropping back. The 48 is going to get behind him here and try to give him a big push to see if they can keep going. The drivers are getting squirrely. The outside line is going to get a huge run coming through the trial here, and the 24 is going to be able to pass the 6 for the moment.
That 24 machine is getting an incredible push from that 48 of Joey Maines, both out of Hendrick Motorsports. I want to deeply apologize about that, you guys. I went ahead and restarted up the sim, and it seems like so far everything has settled down on my end, as these drivers are now going through turns 3 and 4 here, as we have more movement going on in the back. Trading Paints is still getting the last few of these cars' correct paint schemes loaded in here, as these drivers are now coming out the start finish line, and they have 60 laps to go this time by. And now you have Chris Otto in that number 6 machine on the inside, following those Hendrick drivers, as everybody else is running too wide behind them.
I wish you could have seen the battle between the 48 and 24 a moment ago, as they were trying to get around, or no, it's the 6 and the 24, sorry about that, as they were trying to get around each other and swerving up and down the track. It's a pretty good battle. Oh, so we got one wrecking in turn 3 in the back.
The one that would be Bob Wyckoff in that number 9 machine. We spoke with him before the race, and he says he usually gets caught up in other people's issue. And let's go back here and take a look and see what happened to Bob Wyckoff. Coming into turn number 3, he had to check up, and then he just got turned. And
That looked like a bit of netcode, I believe.
yeah, that definitely looked like a little bit more of netcode than anything. But probably not too much damage on that number 9 machine, so hopefully he can get his race car back out here today.
Let's see, I believe he got on the wall, and the 40 just barely made contact with him as he was going past there.
Yeah, and you know, let's go ahead and get that driver, that number 48, Joey Maines, up here. Let's see if we can have a little conversation with Mr. Maines.
Alright, give me 1 second here, bud. Alrighty, here we go. How's it going, Joey? This is Mike and Dakota up in the booth. I was wondering if you'd take time to do a small interview while we're under caution.
Yeah, sure. What's up?
Alright, Mike, you go ahead.
Alright, Joey. That 48 Chevrolet looks absolutely amazing today so far. We just actually watched you push your teammate of James Bowles out to the race lead. How's that Ally Chevrolet feeling, and do you think you have what it takes to at least get Hendrick 1-2 finish today?
That is definitely the goal, but it's definitely going to be hard because there's a lot of good super speedway guys here still, and there hasn't been a lot of people that got wrecked out yet. So just got to survive, make it to the end, and I might be able to do it.
Yeah, that word obviously comes up a lot here, which is survive. And now that you are in your pit stall, so we're gonna go back green flag with possibly just about 56 laps to go. Um, we still got at least one more pit stop. Do you know about when you're gonna come down, or do you think everybody's gonna come down at
Um,
once?
I'm not sure. It's all going to depend on when or if wrecks happen, if there's going to be a cycle of green flag pit stops or not. So it's always going to depend on what happens in the last stage when we're going to pit.
And then the stage break at lap 60.
Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We still haven't reached that final stage yet. So, all right. Well, I mean, I guess everybody will have to come down during the that stage break. But I will let you get back down there, and good luck and enjoy the rest of the race.
All right, thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Maines, driver of that number 48 Ally Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. So it looks like this time around, we had 7 drivers stay out. Charles Robertson, John Hopley, Will Austin, Chris Van Mastert, Martin Roberg, David Anderson, and Nicholas Johnson in that number 84 machine. They all stayed out on this caution. Charles Robertson, he's doing pretty good up there in that number 20 machine, currently leading the race. But I want to point out that number 88 of Will Austin, driving for Trackhouse Racing today. He's doing one heck of a job wheeling that race car to the front. And maybe we can catch a word with him next caution.
So, one of the drivers that was having a little bit of radio issues, you mind if I bring them up here real quick?
Oh,
for a little bit?
absolutely. Let's go. Who is it?
It's gonna be Mr. Miller here. How's it going, Matt? This is Dakota and Mike up in the booth. You got a copy? Give him a moment here.
I'm actually showing he's not on track at the moment.
Yeah, he's not on track at the moment. That's all right. We'll bring him back up here shortly. Gotta put him back where he was at. I was going to bring him up here and see if he wanted to chat with us for a little bit since he's currently out of the race, as I believe he got taken out pretty early due to some electrical issues with his vehicle.
Yeah, definitely shoot him a message, see if he would like to join us. If he's more than welcome. Always welcome to have, another person up here in the booth.
He's a very good guy. I think y'all two get along pretty good. His pace car's gonna be going in this time.
Pace car is in. It is in the hands of Charles Robertson in that number 20 DeWalt Toyota Camry. Camry. And we are green flag race. Robertson gets one heck of a jump out front, while the rest of the field is now playing catch up. A lot of movement now out of that 23 machine.
Look at the run on the outside line. Shot out of turn 2 like a bullet.
Yeah, and here comes that outside, led by Chris Van Mastert in that number 38 machine. He's been very strong all day, and he's getting a good push there by David Anderson and Mark Gonzalez as they work their way into the top three. And here comes Chris Otto as well in that number 6 machine on the inside now. Really good group of drivers right here as Mark Gonzalez tries to go back out high. And here comes Chris Otto in that number 6 machine, looking for a really good push now. Mark Gonzalez, Chris Otto, Ford partners. And they are actually running pretty good and very well together at the moment as we have 55 laps to go. Really, really good push there by Otto. As you see the 23 of David Anderson, he's starting to drop back and trying to catch up with him here. He's down on that apron, letting everybody go by for some reason. Not exactly sure what happened there.
It looked like he just got out of sorts a little bit, and instead of trying to continue to push, he just kind of dropped down and got out of the way.
Yep, that might have. Oh, we have huge trouble. And oh, come on.
Ooh, that was a bad one.
Oh, the 24 of I'm sorry. Yeah, James Bowles is involved. John Hopley in the number 4, he was involved there. A lot of really good drivers just involved there. Let's take a look. I might be able to catch just like the very beginning of it. Let's go ahead and go back here just a little bit, see if I can. No. Everything starts blinking as the crash happens, unsure of what happened there. Why all of a sudden?
Let me try to go back and get a look again here just so I can be 100% sure. Give me one moment. Working on it. Alrighty here. It looks like the 24 was trying to follow the 48 down and was not completely clear of the 2. Tried to come down a little bit, spun off the nose of the 2, collected the 4, and when the 4 got turned, it took him and the 24 directly up towards the wall, and he was hit by a couple more cars after that. That just didn't have time to slow down at the 77 and the 16. So in total, it's about 5 cars involved, probably 2 with major damage, and then we have 2 people wrecking onto the apron trying to dodge the incident. That'll be the 9 and trying to get a look at who that is. The 9 and the 84, I believe. Both were able to get minimal damage there. Probably gonna need, a new change of pants and some fresh stickers and nothing too major on damage. I think the one that got the worst look here is gonna be the 24. Are we still having issues?
Nah. As of right now, everything seems good, fine, and dandy for the moment. But we're taking a look here at Tony Fry when he started moving away from the carnage. It looks like he started to try to pull away here, and he got up onto the track and tried to hit the gas and went up, and unfortunately he went right in front of that number 9 machine of Bob Wyckoff. Again, unfortunately, Bob Wyckoff having issues once again here at Talladega Superspeedway. And again,
What?
just that guy, he just can't, seems like he can't catch a break.
All right, I'm gonna try this again real quick. What's going on, Matt? You got a copy? Just got a mic up in the booth. Oh, I moved him to the wrong thing. Shoot.
It happens.
I moved him to the Xfinity broadcast booth.
Oh, that's awesome.
What's going on, Matt? You got a copy?
Yeah. I was actually talking when you moved me.
Yeah, that was my bad. I accidentally put you in the Xfinity broadcast booth as well.
Oh, no problem, man. I'm just loading back into session.
So for those of you that don't know, this is Mr. Matt Mettler. I believe he used to be part of a broadcasting team here as well.
Oh, absolutely. Had a lot of good times up here in the booth with the legendary Tony Trapasso a couple years ago, and hung around this league ever since. Rhea does a great job, and enjoy my time here.
So, quick question. You were in the race earlier. What ended up happening? It looked like you had some kind of electrical issue with your vehicle.
You know, I love Talladega. I look forward to plate racing, and it just wasn't my day. Discord was acting up on me. I couldn't join a team chat, and I kept getting this weird FPS drop, and I couldn't see it wasn't safe, so I opted to put it down pit road versus wrecking someone else and ruining their day.
There's never anything wrong with that. So, Mike, you said you was cool with him chilling here with us for a little
Oh,
bit, correct?
absolutely. He's more than welcome to be
Alright.
chilling with us. And as far as those FPS drops, as far as I know, that's something that actually has been hitting a lot of guys, including myself. I actually just started having issues probably about 15 laps ago. So I had to shut down iRacing, restart it. So far, we're looking all clear. But as soon as that last caution came out, everything started acting up again. So I had to turn down some graphics. But I'm ready to go racing here once again at Talladega, as Mark Gonzalez will bring the guys and gals back to the green flag here at Talladega. And he will quickly move back up in front of Chris Otto. And he will pull Otto back in front of him, and they will drop down to the bottom lane here on the entry of turn 1.
Can't really blame him for making that move there, as the Fords have been really strong, especially on the outside here today, as I've seen them drive through the field multiple times with huge runs.
Yeah, Thomas Flynn still flirting with that top 5 after having that EOL at the start of this race. So he's now running side by side for 4th with Justin Johnson in that number 22 Pennzoil Ford Mustang. So up until your FPS issues, Matt, how was your car handling, and who do you have your eyes set on now to win this race today?
A man that almost run a race working with me back in February, and that is Chris Otto. He is probably one of the most underrated drivers in iRacing, if you ask me. He knows how to get the job done. He understands which lanes have the momentum, how to use the draft, and he's one heck of a pusher. I got my eye on Chris.
Absolutely. And yes, I use absolutely, okay, Rhea? Absolutely. He is right on that
Absolutely.
one. 100% right on that one. Chris Otto, he's always one that you want to watch at these super speedway races. Back in Atlanta, you know, he was pretty strong back there. And, you know, once again, here he is up front running second, right behind Mark Gonzalez, as we will have another caution. And this time it's going to be, looks like that number 15 machine of Jacob Treats. If I can try to get a eye on him, as he's kind of hiding behind the wall right there. Danny Salo looks like he was involved here as well. Let's go back, take a look, see what happened to bring out this caution on the exit of turn number 4. He tried to come down in front of that 9 machine of Bob Wyckoff. Had and he got turned off his front bumper. And then something happened also Danny Solo here. So let's take a look. And as they were wound up for the caution, uh, uh, he, oh, something happened and he just like quickly jumped off the gas. I'm not sure what happened there.
I do want to point out, I feel very bad for the 9 car today of Mr. Wyckoff. He's just having a bad time. That's the second time I've seen him involved in something that I'm not necessarily sure was his fault, you know?
Yeah, unfortunately, it does seem like the past 5 or 6 races now with Bob Wyckoff, he's had a pretty tough time in that number 9 machine for Hendrick Motorsports.
So, Matt, at your time here, what has been the most exciting finish you've seen?
I don't even know where to begin. There's been so many brilliant finishes here during my time in this series. It probably when Van Maastricht won his first race in the series a couple years ago, or I think it was 2 years ago. I could be wrong on that, but that was probably the most exciting finish or ending to one of these races that I've seen. Typically, as you know, he's a mid-pack guy. Been a long-time admin here, does a lot to help out behind the scenes. But that day he was on, and I believe it was also at a plate track. And don't look now, but he's also in that 5th place position. Maybe he has some more magic left in the tank. We're going to have to find out.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, Chris.
It feels
Go ahead.
it feels weird having what I'd call both of my mentors in here, as I'm still learning how to broadcast myself.
Well, see, you have me, and then you have Matt, whose voice is made for broadcasting.
The man sounds like he was born on a radio.
Oh,
I mean,
yes. He was probably he probably popped out with a microphone in his hand saying, "Hello, world."
he's probably going, "Hello, my darling."
I'll be honest with you guys. So this is, believe it or not, 100% animated. Just like my real life job being a live DJ, that's a completely different voice. I guess I'm good at mimicking the sounds that you expect to hear from a broadcast personality. It's something I definitely have had to work at, and I appreciate the compliments, but we can always be better. But I do appreciate that, gentlemen. Always a pleasure to be up here in the booth with you guys. You do a great job.
We appreciate that. Somebody I want to go ahead and bring up into the booth real quick is that 71 of Chris Bishop for Spire Motorsports. Is there a way we can drag him up into the booth?
Give me one moment if I can find him here. I'm not seeing him in the Discord unless I've overlooked him.
Give me Mark Gonzalez in that number 2 for Penske. Let's
Okay.
get that race leader up in here.
Alright, here we go. And how's it going, Mark? This is Dakota, Mike, and now Matt up in the booth. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm glad I got a copy this time.
Awesome. Mark, I wanted to pull you up here simply because you have driven yourself all the way from that 30th spot, and now you're sitting up front with your with a Ford person behind you. What's your thoughts coming up here on this upcoming restart, and what's your plan for the remainder of this race?
Honestly, I'm just trying to have a Ford alliance and just trying to look out for my other Fords and hopefully to work with them. There's been some guys that have been all over the place, and I've been noting that and making sure that I don't go with those guys or switch lanes or to get them out the way. But just been taking care of the car and making sure I'm not in a bad spot.
I mean, as long as you have a Ford teammate behind you, I don't think you're gonna be in a bad spot. Last restart, you were able to get a big enough jump, get down in front of, or Chris come up behind you, and then you guys went down to the inside. Is that about what you guys have planned again on this restart?
Yeah, me and him are talking to our spotters, trying to get in connection to, you know, just take the field around a couple laps, and hopefully we can take control of the field and stay out of trouble. That's our main goal, is just to stay out of trouble, because we don't want to get back in that pack and get all in that chaos back there.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Dakota, Matt, do you guys have any questions for Mr. Gonzalez?
Unfortunately, I think they're going to go back green, so it's going to move back down to the channel.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be Mark Gonzalez in that number 2 Penske Ford. He's having a really good run. Moved up 29 spots since we've gone green. He can't move up any further than the pace car, but I'm sure if that man could, he would even pass the pace car.
As they're going to be coming to the green this time. He gets a really good start on the outside there as he's pulling away, but that could play into his favor, could not, as he's got a pretty good gap here and somebody could potentially get a good run, but luckily he's got another Ford behind him, and I think they're going to be working together.
Yeah, that 47 though is coming on the outside, getting that really good push from Justin Johnson in that 22 Ford. So that's something that we want to watch out and see what Justin's going to do as he catches the front 2 Fords up here. Is he going to bounce down and run with them, or is he just going to stay tucked behind the 47 of Thomas Flynn? But that's going to remain to be seen as they continue to work their way towards the outside of your front 2 drivers.
And then another reminder, we still have a stage break in 5 laps.
Yes, we still have that final stage break here today. And currently, it is Kyle Benson in that number 33 machine. He's currently holding on to that 10th spot. And you have Charles Robertson and Rhea Ferris both looking to get some stage points here today. As they come out of turn 2, a lot of movement happening on that inside as Thomas Flynn jumps to the bottom lane, and now they are going 3 wide back here, right around where James Bowles is in that 24 machine. But that 4 car on the outside, he's continuing to drop back on that outside as he has no help.
Oh, almost contact there coming off the corner in the middle. Get Skinny Boys, but they got it solved, and you can tell it is getting down here to the end of the stage. Everyone fighting for position. They are really brewing the hornet's nest right now around that 15th place position. Is their single file through the front 4 as they currently run right now.
Rhea, I quit. Matt, you're hired.
No, that stop. I'm gonna shut up.
No, I will be upset if you do, Matt. We are up here to have a good time, and that's what it's all about, as Thomas Flynn is back out front in that number 47 machine. The first time that he has seen that top spot since they left pit road, I should say, as he was supposed to start on the pole in that machine and had to fall back with that EOL. But he's got that hungry Fords behind him of Mark Gonzalez and Chris Otto. Now here they come to the outside up in turn 1 and 2. And they are going to work their way around Thomas Flynn, dropping him back.
Look at the turn and burn out of Chris Otto. I told you that man can push you. He knows how to light the afterburner. And they're getting all the bookie under the hoodie as they're going to clear to the bottom. Great move by those 2 Fords.
Absolutely, absolutely. They had an incredible run there.
As the 20 just gets left to dry, literally left in the middle of the track with no help at the moment, and they're 3 wide for 7th back.
That 48 machine's getting a really big push by the 34 of Larry Fairman, as the 48, he will drop back down to that middle lane, try to sneak his way, and big wobble out of him as they come across start-finish line.
Right. Caution should be coming out next time by, or are they going to be able to make it to the line here as the 2 is currently got
Oh,
the
we have trouble!
Oh, big problems.
Oh,
Oh my God. Multiple drivers have just died in the simulator. Chris Vanderschmidt, who I was talking, they're still wrecking, boys. It's a parking lot back there.
That one, the big one.
And unfortunately, everybody at home has missed it. I don't understand what is going on.
Don't beat
That's all right.
yourself up, buddy. This was happened to me Friday night, or excuse me, Thursday night with the broadcast.
All
And
right,
I,
Matt, you
I,
want to
I
give me a
know
little
it
help
guts
here?
you to death, but I know it's not you, buddy. It's just one of those growing pains. We use a lot of different technology to bring these broadcasts to make it actually work for the end user to watch this at home. And when one piece of software does not want to cooperate, it kind of makes the whole process a lot more challenging and difficult. And I know you'll get it sorted.
So just for all the viewers out there, let's give a little rundown on what happened here. The 38 of Chris was going through the corner, slid up a little bit. The 22 was able to get under him, and the 38 tried to come back down. Unfortunately, gets caught on the front bumper of the 22, comes down and collects the 71, putting both of them up into the wall, bouncing off the wall, and just a parking lot after that because, you know, you're going 180 plus miles an hour. It's really hard to stop on a dime. It's kind of like driving a semi.
Not only that, Chris is going to be picking his teeth up out of the cockpit for the next month. That was a violent collision with the outside retaining wall. Almost a two-part deal for him. He was the initial wad that set the bomb off where the fuse got lit, and after that, there was a cataclysmic event behind him, you know, in top 25, probably through the remainder of the field, where the racetrack turned into a giant parking lot. There was multiple cars facing the wrong way, and in fact, they continued to wreck. It seemed like for an eternity back there. So hopefully some of these drivers that were impacted haven't used their fast repairs. Remember, folks, you get one mulligan in this race, and if some of these drivers had to use it right then and there, they could be facing some extensive repairs under this final stage break of the race.
Talk about the stage break. Your top five: Mark Gonzalez, Chris Otto, Thomas Flynn, Justin Johnson, Rhea Ferris, Mike Iskandar, Joey Maines, Chris Bishop, Chase Harden, and Michael Gibbertson. They are going to be the ones to retrieve those well needed stage points for their campaign to win the championship here at the end of the season.
And the 9 car is actually going to be able to get a lap back, so he'll be back on the lead lap here after he's been involved in a few incidents of Bob Wyckoff here.
Yeah, great recovery drive for him in that machine. You know, and that's the beauty of Talladega really quick. And while they're currently service being performed down the racetrack, you know, this race is the great equalizer. You know, whatever's happened early part of the season, if you put a car on the racetrack, you have just as good of an opportunity to win versus anyone else out there. And I think having that confidence, knowing that that is a possibility, is why you see some of these guys rise to the occasion. For example, the Jimmy Johnson, they're in that second place position, up not 12, not 30, 34 positions to the good. I mean, this man single-handedly was the master of my iRacing disaster last year. I mean, he would give me PTSD just looking at the car. And here he is running in second. That is the magic of Talladega right there.
I couldn't have said that any better myself. You know, Talladega is anybody's race. You know, so just you don't blink. I mean, Scott Trusty in that number 8 machine, he's up 39 positions since we went green. He practically started dead last in this field. Jimmy Johnson, as you said, he's up 32 spots. Philip Manzo, he's up 33 spots. It's just absolutely phenomenal how much Talladega can really change the game throughout this race. And we still got 40 more laps to go, guys.
Anything and everything could happen. I mean, just when you think you've seen it all at this track and you ready to kick back and wind down, it reminds you that it is not over until the checkered flag flies. And if you folks at home think it's been wild, you ain't seen anything yet, because we're about to kick off the third and final stage here, and it's going to get rowdy. So you better hold on, folks. I can't wait for this, guys.
So I would like to point out, not anyone can win super speedways. I hear that all the time, but that's not the truth. You have to know where to put your car at the right time, or you risk getting taken out of the race early. you got to know how to play it safe, and you got to know how to use the draft to your advantage at these types of tracks in order to be in the right position to win. Because most times, the person leading on the last lap is not the person that wins.
That is very, very true as well. Just a couple nights ago, I ran the NASCAR iRacing Series fixed race here at Talladega, and on the final lap, I was about seventh or eighth, and I ended up winning out of turn or coming through the tri-oval because of a big crash that happened right on the inside of me as I was getting pushed on the outside for the win. So it just boils down to being at the race at the right place at the right time. But I still stand. Anybody could still win this race as long as they know what they're doing.
Absolutely, 100%. And I think the point Dakota was trying to make to the crowd that says no skill at super speedways, you are incorrect, because it does take skill to race these types of races, especially at a high level. I promise you. However, it does also have a lot to do with Lady Luck being on your side as well. If you have everything gelling, if everything's vibing for you, you have a great shot at winning this race when all is said and done. However, the last place you want to be, and I'm going to echo what was just said a moment ago, you don't want to be the leader with one to go. No one knows more about that than I do, trust me, is that pace car pulls off and we get ready to go back green flag racing here at the heart of Earnhardt country.
I'm going to have to challenge that statement on you, Matt, as we are getting ready to go back green, as you said. I have had the worst luck here at Talladega, leading on the last lap here at Talladega and Daytona. You know, I feel like I'm Earnhardt sometimes, as the inside lane just does not get moving.
The outside lane shuffling all over the place as well.
Yep, that 62 machine of Jimmy Johnson. Oh, and the
Look,
trouble is
cool.
around. The 8 is around, and I'm all over
That's
the
gonna be
place
another
again.
caution. So, I'm
I'm
not
going to
sure.
apologize to Jimmy Johnson for invoking the broadcaster's curse. I should have never mentioned his name.
I just want to say that restart looked very hectic to begin with, and that just, it seems like some of these drivers might be out of the correct mindset that they need to be in at the moment.
Yeah, let's go back. Unfortunately, I can't show the replay of the incident. But
A lot
let's
of drivers have their emotion is boiling over right now in the chat.
So, just to recap that wreck here, it looks like the 47 was able to get to the inside of the 8, and the 8 tried to come down and clear himself. And they made just the slightest bit of contact. The 8 goes around, tries to recover, and flink, typical super speedway stuff. You turn to the right, you really turn to the right. There is no just small turns. It's full or nothing, basically. And sends them directly up into the wall and collects a few other people with it. Luckily, I mean, looks like minimal damage for a lot of people. There were at least 7 cars involved in that, I would say.
yeah, just
the
about.
other thing,
Go ahead.
We are taking a look here at the restart. As they got to the restart zone, Jimmy Johnson just did not get going, and that just completely stacked everybody up behind him, and then all chaos just ensues from there as they entered turn 1, and the 8 car tried to come down to get around him, but he just was not clear, and that made everything go haywire, including this beautiful stream. That's how chaotic this restart was.
What was you trying to say a moment ago, Matt?
we knew it was going to be chaotic coming into the third and final stage to begin with. However, I didn't anticipate that right off of the restart, almost on the green flag there as they got into the restart zone. A big reason why you see issues like this at plate tracks, it all comes back to this car. Momentum is everything. It's low horsepower. These drivers are going to fight tooth and nail for every type of an advantage you can get on restarts, especially here. So what happens? Drivers think they can time the restart. They're going to anticipate when to go, and if you get it wrong, it just takes one bumper from your nose back to the business end of a race car in front of you, and it can set it off from there. And multiple cars involved. And that can happen in the blink of an eye here at Talladega. But like you said, for whatever reason, Jimmy Johnson, who's been having a great run, in fact, I was bragging on him just a couple minutes ago, just didn't have a good restart. Everyone being aggressive, trying to get all they can out of this car. And unfortunately, bad things happen there, as we're going to have to re-rack them, restack them, do it again here at Talladega.
Hey, y'all know that F1 guy that goes around singing "Smooth Operator," right? Y'all ever heard of that?
No.
Well, you're not talking about Carlos Santana. I know the song.
There's just a couple people, as like, for instance, me and Matt was talking the other night on our broadcast, and I believe me and Mike was talking about this the other day. They just seem to have this thing to be able to dodge a bunch of wrecks. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I kind of wonder if they're just sitting in the car singing "Smooth Operator" or not.
If that works, sign me up for it, because I need all the luck I can get, I feel like, at this track as of late. Daytona's usually on my side. I got the Magic Crystal, the Rabbit's Foot with me, and great things happen. But here in Earnhardt country, it just has not gone my way as of recent. So any tips you got, I'm wide open, buddy.
And then, well, you know, next week we're going to be heading to Martinsville as well. And as many wrecks has been here, is that aggression going to carry over?
Actually, we are not heading to Martinsville next week. We actually
we're
we're going to be running the World 600 next week at Charlotte. And we will have a special start time of, I believe it's 2:30 p.m. So definitely tune in next week for the World 600 live from Charlotte Motor Speedway. I really hope you can join me for that one, Dakota, because it's going to be a long race.
Oh yeah, Charlotte's always a long race. It like one of the longest races of the year.
And
I
honestly,
can tell you, next week, I don't mean to cut you off there, I will not be able to put a car in the field because there's no way we'd get all 600 miles in by the time I have to get to work. So if you'd like me to join you next week and help out for a little bit, more than happy to be up here with you boys. On that note, it's 12 after 7 p.m. Eastern time. I got to go get ready for my DJ job. Thank you so much for letting me come up here and share the booth with you guys. It's always a pleasure. I love this league. Brings back such good memories being up here in the booth. Have a great rest of your evening, guys. Enjoy the race, and hopefully I'll be up here with you guys again soon.
thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Driver the number 66 Ford Mustang, Matt Metler. And we will more than welcome to have you next week if you would like to join us.
I appreciate that very much, sir. Enjoy the end of the race.
Yes, sir. All right. So I think I might have figured out the issue I was having. I decided to open up my task manager, and it was showing some stuff open that I didn't think I had open, and I had to close it all down. For some odd reason, it was showing that I had 12 Chrome tabs open.
Jesus.
But my Chrome is closed as far as I knew. So I went ahead and shut down some other things. So hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to clean it out from now on. Hopefully you guys won't miss any more of the wrecks, because we all know that's what everybody is here for. So let's sit back, relax, enjoy the rest of this race. We have 34 laps remaining, and just about, 10 laps shy of when these guys have to come in for that pit stop.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it family friendly and not say my joke, but the adults will get it.
I think the
Just
adults
make
got
that.
it just fine. This is a kids. This is a family friendly show, Dakota. As once again you see that 6th machine of Chris Otto get a huge jump in front of Kyle Benson in that 33 machine, and here comes Benson shooting to the outside. Right now, that 62 of Jimmy Johnson has a better shot to get to the back bumper of Kyle Benson, but Chris Bishop got to Chris Otto first, but it was not enough. And the 62 squeezes himself down in front of Chris Otto, and that just discombobulates the inside lane for the time being. But they are now reforming those top 4 cars as they now come back towards start the tri-oval here. As you see, Chris Otto now taking a shot to the outside, big block by, oh, and he gets turned. The yellow flag is out.
I know that looks bad, but I'm sure Chris Otto didn't intentionally mean to do that. But that definitely does look like a case of, oh, you're going to block me while Dale Earnhardt. I know that's not what happened though. We'll just
I don't want to say yes or no as we take another look coming through the tri-oval. Chris Otto gets an incredible run, and then that 33, he jumps back up high.
It kind of looks like he was just trying to drop back behind him. He might have had a little more momentum left than he thought he did after he, the block.
Yeah, let's go with the benefit of a doubt on this one, because I don't want to cause any issues for us up here in the booth. But ultimately, what it will boil down to is, what will race control think? And will they end up penalizing that 6 car for that? But that remains to be seen.
Unfortunately, it looks like the 33 is going to get a hard hit from the 3 car as well after the initial part of that wreck, and the 42. So the 33 is going to have a lot of damage after that one.
Yeah, there was definitely a couple really good impacts there. As we saw, I still had those issues there on this restart. I think this is what I'm going to do, and I will absolutely come back and rebuild all of this, simply because I want to try to get something working here.
Alright, sorry about that. I'm back. I had to have a discussion with my wife right quick.
That's not a problem. Tell the wife everybody here says hey, and we hope that she is having a beautiful day.
Unfortunately, we are not, because we are both currently sick at the moment. I will talk to you more about that after the broadcast, because it might be affecting my schedule a little bit in the upcoming days.
It's not a problem, buddy. You do what you have to do. As I always say, life outside of gaming, no matter what game, no matter what sim you're on, if you're sick, take your time, go relax, rest, feel better, and come back strong. So if that's going to affect your time here with me on the iCast Racing Network, or even on Racers Elite Network, take your time, feel better, because at the end of the day, I want you to come back and broadcast with me, alright? That's all I'm saying.
Luckily, I will say it does look like the 33 car did have a fast repair, even though he is still currently sitting in the pits at the moment, but all his damage appears to be fixed. So luckily he's been able to hold on to his fast repair, as it's been a hectic night tonight, and he's going to be able to get back out onto the track, it looks like. And we are currently at 11 to go. We should be coming to 10. We should be going green with 9 to go. I'm just kidding.
9? We have 31 laps to go. Whatever you are on that's making time fly a lot faster, give me some.
It's supposed to be a joke. We're racing like we're on the last lap, okay?
Oh, man.
Nah.
I love you, Dakota. You know that, buddy.
But we should be getting ready to go double file, coming one to go to the green here with about approximately 29 to 30 laps left as we go green. Hopefully the drivers will be able to get a good long green flag run in here, and we'll be able to get green flag pit cycles going. Be interesting to see the different strategies as the pit window to make it to the end is opening within the next 5 to 10 laps.
Yeah, that's very possible here. As you see, a lot of drivers starting to come down pit road here. Let me change up a couple things here. See what I can do about trying to get some of this flaking stuff to go away. I mean, I don't want to have to shoot my graphics down too terribly far, but I mean, at this point, I might not have a choice.
Yeah, I'm even running at a little bit of lower frames myself. Like I'm currently holding on to about 60 frames per second, and I'm normally average a good 80 to 100, no issue at every track.
Yeah. See, I just brought down the cars, and they just you can't run that kind of setting on the cars. They just don't look right.
This is gonna sound weird, but is your wheel plugged up currently?
Yes, it is actually.
Try unplugging it. Because I have read that there's a lot of issues with frames and stuff being dropped and glitches with the wheels currently, causing the issue. It's overloading the CPU versus putting the issues on your GPU.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that could very well be something to take a look at. And while we're doing that, let me go ahead and take care of that. Let me go ahead and cancel out my device here.
As we're going to be going green this time, the pace car is going into the pits. Your current leader is Jimmy Johnson in the 62 and the 34, Larry Fairman, who has been battling the black flag at the start of the race. Currently sitting P2. And they're in the restart zone this time, going green. The inside line gets a good jump. Is he going to opt to go to the outside here? Is they're going to have a better push? Yes, he is. The 62 is going to opt to go back to the inside lane as the outside lane has broken up for some reason. And the 34 of Larry Fairman is going to try to get a hard charge here and trying to look to drop to the inside. The 62. 62 is going to block. 34 going back to the outside here. Going to try to continue his run as they are currently 3 wide for third place.
I thought there for a split second that they were going to attempt to go 4 wide for that second spot, as Larry Fairman in that Love's number 34 is currently out front, hanging out strong, getting a really good push there by that 20 machine.
So that 41 car, Tony Frey, got a huge run. It almost made it work to get to the lead there, but unfortunately just not enough to get himself clear and drop down, as we got a big wreck in the back.
All right, Jacob Treat in that number 35 Monster Energy machine, facing the wrong way here at the start-finish line. He will get himself moving, facing the correct direction. Let's go back, take a look, see what happened that brought out this latest caution. Just coming here through the tri-oval. He moved up and got into the 15 that turned him over into that 3 machine and caused the 3 machine of Philip Manzo to go into the wall. That is very unfortunate there.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of these drivers are having issues
Whoa,
keeping it
there's
on
the
the
pace car.
bottom or such at the moment, but it could be due to damage on the vehicles and stuff.
As you guys saw right there on that replay, our pace car was drifting through turns 1 and 2, to try to catch up with your race leaders. As we take a look here at Philip Manzo. I'm sorry to cut you off there, Dakota.
No problem.
But now we are having issues trying to get things underway here.
So at this point in the race, how many people have a fast repair left? That is a good question because there's a lot of people with damage in the field at the moment.
Yeah, a lot of drivers have had a you know, a lot of damage, a lot of possible fast repairs, like you said. You know that.
Something else surprising, a lot of the leaders stayed out here when they possibly could have pit and been able to make it to the end of the race here. That's a bold strategy as they're probably assuming there's going to be more cautions.
Second here. Left. Just peeked up here and took a glimpse at my overlays, and the simracerhub.com logo wants to sit over in front of ISNF because I haven't been talking about them. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, go check out simracerhub.com. They are your everything you need for your sim racing statistics, and a lot of the information that we get here from that you see on our logos is from Sim Racer Hub. So go check them out. If you're running a league, absolutely 100% go put in all your stuff over there. And let me tell you what, they are very accurate with their stats. You can add the bonus points and everything for the standings. You can do schedules. You know, just like here on Charles Robertson's overlay here, you see he has 173 starts. You know, if you go and take a look at that website, that's exactly what it will tell you. So that if you get a brand new driver, you know, say like me, you know, put in my name, well, I haven't had any starts, and then, you know, I don't come back for another, say 20 races, you don't remember, you could just look and see, hey, so Mike has one start. So it's a really cool thing to have. You know, top fives, it tells you top tens, how many races they've won. Go check them out, simracerhub.com. As we are getting ready to come back to get the one to go signal this time by.
As we're seeing a couple drivers, you know, come back down the pits here to get a little top off on a little bit of extra fuel, which is definitely going to pay off for them here on the long run if we do go green.
Yeah, we are getting ready to go green flag racing here once again. And I am absolutely looking forward to the final 25 laps of this race. A couple people I do want to point out up here. We have Alyssa Sharp. She has snuck herself up here into that 6th spot. Yeah, so Alyssa Sharp in that number 17 Ford Mustang, she's worked her way all the way up into that 17th spot. Or all the way up to that 6th spot in the number 17. Chase Harden in that number 51 machine, he's up there in the top 10. Brian Treadwell in the number 78 for Live Fast Motorsports, he's up there flirting with the top 10. Oh, big check up here on the inside lane before we even take it green flag racing. as a couple cars have made contact, and Larry Fairman in that number 34 machine will bring the field to the green flag this time by. And they are green flag racing once again here for the diehard 250. An incredible jump there for Larry Fairman, as Thomas Flynn and Charles Robertson both are going to run side by side. Robertson's going to have a lot of help now, but with the 3 cars behind him. But Mark Gonzalez and Charles Robertson, Mark Gonzalez, and I believe that's Chris Otto behind him. They will get those 4 machines out in front of that outside lane entering turn 3. But here comes the hard charging Charles Robertson to the outside, trying to make ground back up on that outside. We have now let the bees roam around, and now we're just waiting for the attacks to happen.
Ooh, so we got a big wobble towards the back of the pack there. Not sure what happened there, as they are currently 3 wide. It looked like somebody got super loose as they was making a move.
Yeah, we're back here with Steven Sire and Will Austin in the 5 and 88, as we see really big movements happening out through the majority of this field. You know, everybody's now starting to get anxious, as they know that we're coming to just about 23 laps to go this time. So that means, you know, our fuel window is going to open here in just a couple of laps, and everybody knows that they still got to make at least one more pit stop before this thing's over. At this point in time, I would be focusing on, you know, getting to, you know, that final pit stop before I really start trying to make any moves at this point. You know, we still got to figure out, like, how long do you want to wait to come in? Or do you want to pray that there's going to be more cautions, as they are now running 3 wide, sticking Justin Johnson to the outside there, as the 24 sneaks his nose into his inside, and they are on the outside of Alyssa P. Sharp in that number 17 machine.
A couple of these drivers did come in under caution and pit right before we did, or well, we was doing a formation lap, so they should have enough fuel to make it if they just kind of ride around in the middle of the pack to the back. But it's going to be interesting here, as we have a couple of different strategies if we can go green flag that long, as they're really getting wobbly through the middle of the pack here.
Yeah, Rhea Ferris in that 12 machine, she's getting stuck to that outside lane and falling back fast. But she's now going to tuck right behind Justin Johnson in that number 22, as he looks to go to the inside now of that number 19 of Ethan Farless. Remember, Farless, he is a substitute driver here today. A big wobble out of that number 24. Trouble! The 4 is around, and they keep it going straight. The 19 around, and here it is right here. Caution is out. John Hopley, he has issues in that number 4 machine coming out of turn number 4, as he actually ended up getting turned. Let's go back, take a look, and see what happened. As you see the 24 getting that big wobble, then the 4 machine just come down, and everybody else has nowhere to go. Justin Johnson is involved. Ethan Farless is involved. And Chris Bishop, he had to drive down pit road to miss that. So big unfortunate situations for Ethan Farless and John Hopley. Let's go back. You know, let's go back and actually ride on board with that 4 machine, and let's see what he saw. He actually did a pretty decent job at, you know, keeping that wheel straight, you know, backing it down, holding on to everything he has. So hopefully there's no not too much harm done to those machines. But unfortunately, John Hopley is involved in that one. Uh, Ethan Farless is involved, and the 24 of James Bowles was involved in that one as well. And here comes your leaders. Everybody's now coming down pit road simply because, well, there they
I'll
go.
be right back there, sir.
Not a problem. All right, everybody's now coming down pit road for their final pit stop. This is more going to be along the lines of a stop and go. I can't imagine many people getting tires at this time. As you see, a couple drivers here elect to get left side tires, as your left sides are actually do end up getting more wore out here than your right sides on like other racetracks. And look who is now out front of this field. It is the number 9 of Bob Wyckoff for Hendrick Motorsports. After getting into some issues with other drivers, falling a lap down, getting his lap back. And as we said before here, ladies and gentlemen, as long as you can protect your car from this point on, you can have a very strong finish. As we will have just about 18 laps to go when we come back green flag racing. And right now, Bob Wyckoff, he will be your race leader. Bob Wyckoff in that number 9 machine, he did start back in that 43rd position. Alrighty, so far we are working lap 81 of 100. Your leader is Bob Wyckoff, and we've had 11 cautions so far for 31 laps. But when we go back green, it'll be 32 laps. Looks like Cody Meadows in that number 21 just had some issues. Let's come back, take a look, and see what happened to him. As I think he might have been sputtering. That's exactly what it sounds like. Let's. Yep, he's lost fuel pressure there in his machine. So that's going to be possibly a race-ending situation here for him. Yep, as you hear him completely run out of fuel coming down to the pits. So that's going to put Chris Meadows in that number 21 Ford Mustang for the Wood Brothers at least one lap down, as he had to unfortunately get a tow truck out to pick him up and drop him in his pit box. So we have a very interesting restart this time. Bob Wyckoff on the inside. Scott Trusty in the number 8 on his outside. Jimmy Johnson on the inside of row 1. And then Chris Otto on the outside of row 2. And then you also have Ford teammate Mark Gonzalez down on the inside of that third row. So it's going to be very interesting to see what will happen here as we get the green flag once again. You know, so we got 17 laps to go when we take the green flag. So I'm anticipating no one really is going to hold back this time. So it's going to be very interesting. As I forgot to hit that live button, we are green flag racing. Bob Wyckoff out front, that 62 of Jimmy Johnson right behind him. I'm sorry, I forgot to hit that live button, ladies and gentlemen. But you see Mark Gonzalez in that 2 on the inside, giving that 62 a really good push into 3 and 4 as these drivers come rocketing out of turn number 4 here once again. These drivers are moving all over the place. They really need to settle down and try to stop the big movements that we are seeing. As you see the 62 and the 2 both start, you know, moving around a lot as they go 3 wide behind them. As you see the 8 of Scott Trusty, he's falling back as he is not getting any help. As they're looking to go 4 wide to 50, kind of get turned up into the wall just a little bit, but they were able to keep themselves going straight. As we come back out here to your race leaders, these drivers single foul for first through 5th, and then it's double wide all throughout. And then Joey Maines, he's looking to the outside, he fakes it back down, and he's going to leave that 20 car of Charles Robertson hanging out, but he will be able to come back down. Oh, big trouble behind him. The 41 is around, the 1 is around. The 19 is involved, the 41, the 1, the 24 is involved. The 23 of David Anderson is involved. The 4 is involved. Mike Iskandar. A lot of really good drivers caught up in that one. Ethan Farless, he was involved here as well. It looks like James Bowles in that number 24. He's going to have to get a tow back to pit road. Mike Iskandar in that number 1 machine, he's getting a tow back to the pits here as well. And let's go back here and see what happened to bring out this latest yellow flag. As we see Justin Johnson back here. You know, they start crashing up here in front of them. Justin Johnson barely making it through. But unfortunately, Mike Iskandar was involved here as well. As you see, those drivers hit that wall outside. Hard hit for Iskandar. So unfortunately, I believe Iskandar had to get a tow back to pit road. Fry had to get a tow back to pits. But now we have a lot of drivers now sitting down here on pit road. So Larry Fairman, Ethan Farless, Mike Iskandar, James Bowles, Tony Fry, all involved in that latest caution. The 22 of Justin Johnson, he was able to sneak his way around on the inside around the mayhem. The 62 of Jimmy Johnson for Beard Motorsports. He is doing a phenomenal job sitting up there in that second spot. Bob Wyckoff in the number 9 Napa Chevrolet. He's having a really good, strong run, exactly what he needed here today. Unfortunately, he did see some issues early on, but he was able to get his car repaired and back out, and he's sitting out here in front as we have just shy of, we'll have just about 12 laps to go when we get the green flag. A couple other people that I would like to do a big, huge shout out to is not only simracerhub.com. Again, go check them out for all of your statistic needs for sim racing. You also have. I also want to thank SDK Gaming and Pasquale, or Pascal, Pasquale of SDK. He has been very, very helpful and very phenomenal. Um, he actually took time with me this week. We spoke for about an hour and a half, and he was showing me some pretty cool tools and tips of the trade, workarounds with SDK, and how CSS works. So I want to thank them so much. You guys just take go to Google, put in SDK Gaming. Very beautiful overlays. Very, you can almost do anything with their overlay system that they've got. So definitely, absolutely go check them out for all of your overlay needs. And we do want to shout out iRacing for giving us this beautiful, amazing software that we get to call home right here on the iCast Racing Network. As the drivers are now coming out of turn number 4, we're looking to go green flag. Another person I would like to give a big shout out to is Rhea Ferris in that number 12 machine, subbing for Christian Delgado. She's been doing a phenomenal job in that number 12 machine. But thank you so much, Rhea, for everything that you do. Keeping these guys and gals in line, keeping up, with the overlays that you guys see on the information on this broadcast. So we want to thank her so much for everything she does there. As you see, Iskandar coming around the pace car, but he may have to. Yep, he's going to go ahead and continue to go around. And also, I know he's kind of quiet right now, but I want to thank Dakota LaRue so much for joining me up here in the booth. He really makes these broadcasts for me more enjoyable. As when you're solo trying to call a race, it's really tough. So when you can bounce off of each other and make it work, it just makes the broadcast so much smoother. So Dakota, I know you probably hear me right now, but you can't talk. But thank you, man. I appreciate everything that you do up here in the booth with me. Not only here for ISNF, but also at Racers Elite. And hopefully we can work more on other stuff as we are getting ready to go green flag here as the cars finish forming up here on the back straightaway.
Yeah. Our current leader is going to be Bob Wyckoff in the 9, and Jimmy Johnson on the outside in the 62.
Yeah, as I was saying while you stepped away, Bob Wyckoff, he kept getting caught up in other people's stuff, but here we are coming to 12 to go, and look who's out front.
Large and in charge at the moment, but we'll have to see how the outside lane fares here on this restart. Bob needs to really hope that the 2 behind him is able to get a good restart with him, so they are able to get a good push. As that seems to be part of the issue on these restarts here. The inside line is just getting so spread apart on the restarts, they're not able to carry the momentum that they need.
Yeah, right now there's a big gap between that 62 of Jimmy Johnson and that 20 of Charles Robertson. They really need to, close it up here as they come into the restart zone, and we are green flag. Bob Wyckoff gets an incredible start there, and he's able to bring Mark Gonzalez in that number 2 behind him as they stick Jimmy Johnson in the middle, and they are going to go 3 wide up in here into the high banks in turns 1 and 2. And Jimmy Johnson, he's looking for a spot to move down. If he wants to move down, he needs to make that move right now. But he's going to continue to run in that sideline as you see Charles Robertson getting one heck of a push from Chris Otto in that 6th machine. As you see that 48 of Joey Maines run back to that high side to fill in that gap as they are continuing to make headway on your race leader of Bob Wyckoff as they come out of turn 4, still running side by side. Charles Robertson, Chris Otto, and Joey Maines all cleared that 9 car, but only 2 of them were able to get down, and that will leave that 48 Joey Maines to his outside. Now you have teammates running side by side for that 3rd spot as they head up into the high banks of 1 and 2. That 47 of Thomas Flynn, he's still hanging out there in the 2nd spot on the outside. Still, no matter what position he finishes here today, it's an incredible run for him as he was able to work his way back to the front.
Just want to say the Fords are very good at controlling the tempo of the lines currently, as you have seen. You know, they're able to make the outside work and get huge runs and get towards the front and maintain momentum on the bottom whenever they do get to the front.
Yeah.
Most of the pushers here have been in the Fords.
Yep, and here comes Bob Wyckoff looking to get help from his teammate in that 48 of Joey Maines on that outside. Joey Maines, he will get up right behind him here as they have 10 laps to go. Now it's going to see what these Hendrick cars can do on that outside, but you've got that Toyota all by himself in between 2 Fords. Back to the next Toyota of Christopher Walker in that number 11. But that's his teammate, so we're going to have to wait and see what that 11 can do as the Fords are now going to the outside to make a run. Chris Otto making that work on the outside as he's going to go run side by side with Robertson out of turn number 4. Big push there by Mark Gonzalez. Kind of got the Otto's a little bit squirrely there in the middle of the corner. But he was able to hold on to it as they go 3 wide behind him. As we are coming down now to 8 laps to go. Now it is going to be trouble behind him. The 9 up in the air. The 48, we have one flipping. That will be, it looks like the 17 of Alyssa Sharp. She went for a wild ride there in turn number 1. Alyssa Sharp, Brian Treadwell, Jimmy Johnson, Justin Johnson, Hopley, Steven Sire, Larry Fairman, John Hopley, the 9 of Bob Wyckoff involved, the 48 Joey Maines involved. A lot of really good cars here involved. Let's go back, take a look, and I will do it the best I can to digest everything just happened here right before my computer went haywire on us all again. As you see, the 9 car gets turned. And he will.
Appears the 48 just got a bad push there.
Yep.
From my point.
And the 9 car, he will ride on top of the 48 there for about 100 feet. And then Alyssa Sharp in that number 17 machine. Let me see if I can quickly get to her. Let's go back here just a little bit. As the 22 comes down, gets into Alyssa Sharp, and she will bounce up into the air and upside down up on that retaining wall as you see everybody blinking around her. So that at least gives us a good idea of what wild ride that she went through there, as she will come back down on all 4s. Craziness there for Alyssa Sharp in that number 17 Ford Mustang. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're taking a look here at Charles Robertson now in that number 20 Toyota. He's going to have a lot of work to do, and this is going to be very interesting here, Dakota, on how the top 4, actually like the top 5 will choose where they are going to want to go for the final lap, or hopefully this final restart. You have the Ford of Chris Otto, Toyotas of Charles Robertson and Christopher Walker, and then in fourth place you have that Ford of Mark Gonzalez. Are we going to see the Fords meet up and the Toyotas meet up, or do you think each driver is going to try to separate, you know, their manufacturer competitor? What do you think is going to happen?
Feeling we're gonna see one of the lines try to slow up a little bit and let their teammate get up ahead of them, but I'm not quite sure which one it's going to be.
Yeah, as of right now, it's going to be very interesting because in that fifth spot is going to be Nicholas Johnson in another Toyota, and then a triplet of Chevys. So it's going to be very interesting to see how everybody will line up here for this, hopefully what will be our final restart. As if my calculations are correct, we will have 5 laps to go when we get the green flag.
So in theory here, if the outside does get a pretty good restart, he can drop down in front of the 20, and that'll put 3 Toyotas together. And then they could try to work on getting ahead of these Fords here for the closing laps of this race and see if they could play a little bit of blocking mind games.
That's definitely a very good possibility there for sure. You know, at the end of the day, you have Chris Otto and Mark Gonzalez, who are not teammates, but they are manufacturer teammates. But you do have Charles Robertson and Christopher Walker in the 20 and 11, who are teammates with Joe Gibbs Racing. So it's definitely going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out, and we're going to see if that Legacy Motor Club number 84 of Nicholas Johnson, and see if he will work with those other 2 Toyotas, or if he will just do his own thing to try to get a win for himself.
I mean, in the day, like I always say, when it comes to the last lap, it doesn't matter. I'm going for a win, but if I do have to push, I'm going to try to push for a teammate.
That's very, very true.
As oddly enough, it looks like Chris Otto's going to choose to go to the outside here so he could just hook up with his teammate right off the rip, which is going to put 3 Toyotas on the inside.
Yep, we have the 2 Fords of Chris Otto and Mark Gonzalez on the outside. Chris Robertson, Christopher Walker, and Nicholas Johnson, the 3 Toyotas on the inside. And now we're going to have to wait and see what that number 88 of Will Lawson in that first Chevrolet, what his plan's going to be. You know, is he going to try to work with these 2 Fords, or is he going to try to get down and separate the 3 Toyotas? But he also has 3 Chevys behind him.
Yeah, and there's also another Toyota back there if he can work his way up towards his buddies here in the 42. So the Fords are very outnumbered at the moment.
Yeah, the Fords are definitely outnumbered here. All in the top 10. There's only 2 Fords, and we have 4 Toyotas and 4 Chevys in the top 10. So it's 4 versus 4 versus 2.
But at the end of the day, you know, last lap, all gloves are off.
Absolutely. I don't care if you're my grandmother. I'm going to wreck you to win the race. Sorry.
Hey, I've always said I'd wreck my old mama to win the Daytona 500, but
I mean,
as we're getting ready to go green this time. Go ahead.
absolutely, absolutely. And here we go. Chris Otto in that number 6 Ford Mustang with Ford Mustang driver Mark Gonzalez behind him. And we are green flag racing once again here at Talladega. That time, Otto got an incredible jump. He's going to have to go down and block that inside lane of the Toyotas. And he's just going to have to wait for his teammate to get back up here to him. As you see, he did just that as he jumped back up to the outside to join teammate Mark Gonzalez, as he's going to try to pull him out front of Robertson as they come down the back straightaway. And it looks like and here comes that 22 muscling his way to 3 wide on the outside. And he'll dip behind that 71 machine of Chris Bishop. And so he's slowly trying to make his way up here to get help with his Fords. As you see Robertson and Walker now working their way out of turn 4. And here...
You see how low the 2 got on that restart to try to slow down them Toyotas with the side draft?
Yeah, it's just crazy how this happened. As we have contact, and a wreck up here in turn 1. And
oh, Jesus.
The 42 is... 42, yeah. 42 is involved. The 71 is involved. You know, a lot of mayhem out front.
I can recap it if I need to.
I mean, for the most part, we somewhat got a general idea of what happened here. But we're going to go ahead and jump back here and take a look. And it looks like it started with roughly Chris Bishop. They were attempting to go 4 wide, and the 42 came up across the track in front of everybody there. You know, I think it's actually, I'm not going to lie, I think it's the smoke that's giving me all the issues right there.
Yeah, they were 4 wide behind the 42, and it looked like the 71 might have got a bad push from the 51, I believe, and he came right down into the 42, and it is a whole bad turn of events there. As that was another big wreck collecting a good bit of the field there.
Yeah, mayhem definitely ensued there. So, we are going to line up for a green, white, checkered. We are going overtime here at Talladega in the iRacing Sim NASCAR Fever Series. Whew. All right, so... looking at the top 3. Charles Robertson, Christopher Walker, Nicholas Johnson. All Toyotas. Do you think that the Toyotas are going to double up on the front row and then have that third Toyota stay back, give room for the other one to drop in? Or do you think it's all gloves off at this restart?
I mean, at this point, as fast as I've seen Chris and the other Mustangs work together on the outside, I'm most definitely going to try to have my numbers probably on the outside. Just with it being a, green, white, checkered, the outside's been very dominant on the restarts. The inside gets the jump, but this is the draft and the momentum you can carry coming out of 2. I think it's going to be more work for them to be on the high side here, especially with them having the lead.
That's definitely a very good possibility there. So we're still going to have just one more lap here. Do you want to try to bring up that number 84 of Nicholas Johnson? See if he's down in the voice chats.
Give me a moment here. You said 84?
Yeah, Nicholas Johnson.
There he is. Try to be quick here.
Yep.
There you go. Hey, Nicholas Johnson, this is the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I'm here. What's good?
Hey, Nick. So, you're going to come down here to a green, white, checkered. You got 2 Toyotas in front of you. What's going to be your game plan here for the green, white, checkered? Are you going to wait, and just push one of these guys to the win, or are you going to try to, be greedy and get it for yourself?
I'm pushing those ahead of me. This is not my race.
I wouldn't say greedy. I mean, that just makes it sound bad.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess I'm just a greedy person at this point. All right, so
Yeah,
so your game
I'm
plan is
just here to
just
push my
push?
teammates. Yeah, I'm just here to push my teammates.
Oh, that's phenomenal. That's a real teammate right there, guys. But we'll go ahead and throw you back down, Nick. Thank you for allowing us to
All right,
pull you
cool.
up, and good luck, have fun, and stay out of trouble.
Thank you very
Wait,
much. I've been trying.
do you have any worries about Chris Otto and the Fords because they have been really strong on the outside today?
We were kind of pulling the gap on that restart, and that was when he was with his teammate, and now he's not. So
All
just
right,
make it
well
lucky.
I'll send you back down there. I know you're in a tight scenario here. Anyways,
All right, thank you very much.
Ladies driver number 84 for Legacy Motorsports Club, Nicholas Johnson. All right, so it looks like Charles Robertson, he's going to hang up to the outside, the 11 of Christopher Walker. He's going to choose the inside. And then, obviously, you can see there Nicholas Johnson choosing to stay behind the 11. So I think the Fords know what's about to happen here is, you know, the 11's going to give Robertson plenty of room to come down. And then from there, it's going to be all about Nicholas Johnson giving those two drivers a really big push for the next 2 laps.
we lost the 11 there for a minute. So outside is the lead car, correct?
The outside is the lead car, yes.
Oh yeah, he should be able to get a pretty good jump here and get them all 3 Toyotas on the inside, but I still believe the outside line is just going to have the momentum, even if he drops down, and he's just going to have to go right back up there and block. But we'll
Yep.
see how it plays out,
Yeah,
as there is 3 Fords right behind them that could easily get lined up.
Yet the only odd person in this top 5 is going to be Thomas Flynn in that number 47 Chevrolet. So it's going to be interesting to see how quick Justin Johnson's going to get around the 47 to get to the back bumper of Chris Otto. And then it's going to be very interesting to see how fast Mark Gonzalez and Otto can also get meet up here as our pace car comes down to the pits one final time as we are making our way back to that restart zone. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in NASCAR overtime for the ISNF series, and we are green flag racing. What an incredible jump there by not only Charles Robertson, but Otto as well, as both of these drivers get a really good start here. Otto
That's
is
going to put a wrench in the Toyota camp's plans, as Otto is like, no, you're not leaving me.
Yeah, that's very true. As you see, Johnson now holding up the inside, and the 2 had to make a very dangerous move to the outside to start making his way back up front. Now you have,
Just like that, the Fords are connected.
yep, Gonzalez and Johnson now first and second on that outside lane. How long? But now Johnson's going to ditch the Gonzalez on the outside and make his way around him on the inside. The top 4 drivers, bumper to bumper, you could probably only fit a piece of paper in between all 4 of those drivers' bumpers as we are coming to get the white flag this time by Charles Robertson out front. Johnson trying to make something happen on the outside as there's trouble behind him, but we are going to stay green flag racing. Probably about 15 on back is in trouble, but we're going to stay right here with your top 10 as they come out of turn 2. Really big push by Chris Otto, but here comes the 84 into the 11 on that outside. Those 2 drivers, those 2 Toyotas working well together now heading into turn number 3. Side by side, here they come. The odd driver out is going to be that 6 car of Chris Otto. The 20 goes high. That's going to open up the door for Otto. But how much room are they going to give? And coming down to the line, trouble. The 84 is around. That takes them out. Side by side is going to be Charles Robertson for the win at Talladega. What an incredible lap. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner, Charles Robertson, out of Knightsville, South Carolina for Joe Gibbs Racing, held off a hard charging field, and finishing behind him was Christopher Walker in that number 11 Toyota, also your Joe Gibbs Racing teammate. And then running third, very strong all day, Chris Otto. Unfortunately, he got stuck behind those those Toyotas. Ethan Farless in that number 19. He was able to sneak his way back up to the top four, and followed by Brian Treadwell in that number 78 machine. What an incredible run for these top five drivers. Let's go back here, take a look at what happened coming to the line with the 84. The 84 of Jimmy Johnson. No, I'm sorry, that was the 84 of Nicholas Johnson. That's the guy I was looking for. Let's meet up here with Nicholas Johnson in the 84 as they come down the back straightaway. As you see him giving that number 11 a really good strong push here. And then up into the banks. And once again, here they come out of turn number 4, still side by side. And this is where all mayhem takes place, entering the tri-oval. We're going to go ahead and slow it down here so that we can digest everything that happened here in the tri-oval. Let me get our camera flipped around here. As you see, Justin Johnson, he's side drafting off of Otto. And the 84 of Nicholas Johnson, he comes down, gets into him, down into Otto. Otto keeps it floored as everybody else behind him starts to come up. Johnson comes down and gets into the back end of the 88 machine, and everybody is on for a ride. Hard hit by Justin Johnson up in the air, up and over the 88 machine, but he will settle back down on all fours as you see nothing but mayhem take place here across the start finish line. What an incredible finish there for these drivers.
I will say though, that was great work by the Toyota camp, using their numbers advantage to get the win there.
Absolutely,
Working
really,
together.
yeah, really good job by the Toyota camp working, as you said, working together to get up towards the front and come home 1-2. Let's go ahead and take a look and see if we have any drivers down in the waiting room waiting to be brought up.
It appears we do.
Beautiful. Let's go ahead and get our third place driver of Chris Otto for Roush Fenway. All right.
How's it going, Chris? It's Mike and Dakota on the booth.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Doing
Doing
pretty,
all right.
yeah, doing pretty good. Chris, man, you had a rocket ship underneath that hood today in that number 6 machine. On that final restart, what were your thoughts, coming into that restart? And were you afraid that you just wouldn't have any help, as we saw? You actually ended up not having any help?
Well, first off, I'm going to go back to the restart before that. I should have taken the bottom and split up the Toyotas. I just went up top thinking me and Mark were going to work together a lot better, but they just stayed locked on the bottom. But yeah, on that last restart, I knew what Charles's plan was. He was gonna jump the start and try to get down in front of his teammates, but I jumped it just as good as he did, and I was able to sneak down in there. I didn't see any Ford help behind me, and I knew on the last lap at some point the 84 and the 11 were going to pull out, and I assumed the 20 would go up with them. I knew it wasn't going to be a race that I was probably going to be able to win, but stage 1 and 2 I finished second, and I was just looking to get to the checkered flag and have a really solid points day going into the final race of the year.
Yeah, all around that was a very strong finish for you, though. Good points day. Next week we're heading over to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the World 600. What's your thoughts about a 600-mile race, and what are you going to do to prepare for that grueling endurance race?
Well, my availability is up in the air at the moment, but I'm gonna run some practice laps throughout the week and just see how the track's gonna react, and then once we get into the session, hopefully run behind some cars, see how the dirty air is. I feel like I know how it's gonna be. It's behind other cars. It's gonna push really tight, so just gotta keep the car underneath me and just have a really good day there, so I can lock up a playoff spot.
Alrighty. I don't have any other questions. Dakota, do you have any questions for Mr. Otto?
I believe you covered all of it pretty much. Congratulations on your P3 though. Hell of a job. You making the outside line work very good today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, Rhea came to me earlier this week and said you're one of the best pushers in the league. So if you're around me, help me out. So unfortunately, no, was never around her enough to help her. But yeah, it means a lot coming from the league owner that has a lot of faith in me around these super speedways and stuff, and got some kudos in the chat throughout the race as well. So
Yeah, really good, strong pusher for you. Alrighty, Chris, thank you so much for allowing us to interview here. Congratulations on your third here at Talladega, and we will hopefully see you next week at the World 600.
yeah, thanks guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, driver of the number 6 buildsubmarines.com Ford Mustang, Chris Otto. Let's go ahead and get the number 11 of Christopher Walker out of District Heights, Maryland. Driver of Joe Gibbs Racing, number 11 machine.
Yeah, I got you.
Chris, what an incredible run for you in that number 11 Toyota. You had a real strong run, finished up 12 spots from where you qualified, and, take us around that final restart. What were your thoughts, having 3 Toyotas around you? What were your thoughts process, and did everything work out as planned?
My thoughts were just I gotta work with my teammates. I realized that the win wasn't the highlight for me. I didn't care if I won or lost. I just wanted to help my teammates get whatever they want. And it worked out a little bit. The 22 kind of did wreck the 84, but me and the 20 got our first and second. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, definitely a big win-win there for Joe Gibbs Racing, finishing first and second. Today, let me see something here real quick.
I mean, today the Fords were really strong, and I really thought they were going to win, but they're on the last few laps. Y'all definitely did some very good teamwork to make sure y'all could get in the position you did to win. I mean, overall, I think y'all did a hell of a job.
Yeah,
Was there any troubles on the track today? Like the track temp or anything affect being able to push? Was it making the car any loose or anything like that?
No, not really. It was just the weaving of other cars that made us have to anticipate what they were going to do.
That is very fair. A super speedway, you never know exactly what the other person's going to do, so you have to be pretty careful. Mike, did you get what you needed figured out?
Yes, sir. All right. Well, congratulations on your second spot there, Chris, and we will hopefully see you next week for the World 600 over at Charlotte.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, driver of the number 11 National Debt Relief Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing, Christopher Walker. And let's bring up the man of the hour, Joe Gibbs Racing driver of the number 20 DeWalt Toyota, Charles Robertson.
What's going on, man?
Charles, what an incredible race for you today. Very, very strong, fast Toyota all race long. Were you worried about Chris Otto and that Ford company back there?
Yeah, I mean, Chris is always a good pusher. He's always fast, really anywhere if he can just, stay out of trouble. I gotta thank Christopher. He was definitely pushing me good there at the end, and really all my teammates tonight, they definitely helped me out there at the end. But Yeah, I was kind of worried. I was just trying to manage both lanes, and once I seen, the bottom was pretty much, the lane where you wanted to be, I was just trying not to get turned, which I knew Chris wouldn't do that. But you got to be careful mirror driving, and I feel like I'm pretty decent at it. So, yeah, I'm glad I got to win.
Yeah, you were definitely very strong. Uh, all race long, we saw you fall back a little bit there, moved your way back to the front. So very strong run with you. Um, Next week we're heading over to Charlotte for the World 600. What's your thoughts about that long endurance race over at Charlotte, and do you have what it takes to go back to back?
I don't know, man. That's a long race. It depends. If Basin shows up, he's pretty much the car to beat. So, I don't know. It's hard to manage tires there for me in the past. I've come close a couple times winning that race, but I just can't seem like I can manage my tires in the long run. So we'll just have to wait and see, man. This is one of those deals.
Uh, I don't have any other questions. Dakota?
I don't really have any, but congratulations on your win, man. And I look forward to seeing you do some good things in the coming weeks here.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. It was a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely fun
Oh,
one. Ladies and gentlemen, driver of the number 20 DeWalt Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing, Charles Robertson, bringing it home first in the Die Hard 250 right here at Talladega Superspeedway. Let's go ahead and take a quick peek at our race results. Oh, I hate when that happens there. Alrighty, here we go. Charles Robinson in that number 20 machine for Joe Gibbs Racing. He got pushed to the race win by his teammate Christopher Walker. Chris Otto coming home third for RFK Motorsports. Ethan Farless subbing in that number 19 machine. He'll bring it home fourth. Brian Treadwell in that number 78 machine. He brought it home fifth. Will Austin, Justin Johnson, Nicholas Johnson, David Justin, David Anderson will round out your top 10. Thomas Flynn, Cody Meadows, Chris Bishop, Rhea Ferris, and Chris Van Mastert will bring it home 15, or your top 15 there. 16th, John Hopley. Larry Fairman, he fell all the way back to that 17th spot, and Jimmy Johnson back in 18th. 19th, you have Mark Gonzalez. Joey Maines rounds out your top 20. Gabe Ledger, Steven Sire, Mike Iskandar, Michael Gibbertson, and Jacob Treat will round out your top 25. Craig Lautenslager, Chase Harden, Bob Wyckoff, Scott Trusty, and Alyssa Sharp will round out your top 30. Tony Fry, James Bowles, Jamie Kerr, Kyle Benson, Philip Manzo, Pat Wilkinson, Jaden Wicks, Martin Roberg will round out your top 38 there. 39th will be Dylan Smith, Danny Solo, 40th. Josh Coppernol will bring it home 41st. John Dubois, Shane Griffin, Dylan Lansdale, Matt Metler, and Jeff Weimer will round out your field of 46 right here at Talladega Superspeedway. All in all today, Dakota, what is your thoughts about the race, and did it go to how you expected it?
No, it didn't quite go how I expected. It had a lot of aggression early and maybe a few too many cautions out of some of the drivers, but that is the come with Super Speedway racing. And I'm looking forward to next week as it's going to be a long and grueling battle of attrition to see who can make it to the end.
That is the absolute truth there. Next week, we will head over to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the World 600. 600 miles around that fast 1.5 mile racetrack. Totally different style of racing that we're going to see next week, ladies and gentlemen. And let's go ahead and do a really quick race recap here for you guys. Before we do head out today. We ran 104 of 102 laps. Your race winner, Charles Robertson. And we had 14 cautions just for 41 laps. All in all, ladies and gentlemen, that was a fantastic, fun race. A lot of good action today. Before we head out, let's try to get Miss Rhea up here before we head out. Let's get her thoughts on this race and then her thoughts on next week over at Charlotte.
Fortunately, I do not see Rhea to drag. So, if you see her and you're able to.
Yep, I actually do not see her, so it looks like she went ahead and ran, which is all right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, that will do it for us right here at Talladega Superspeedway. Congratulations to the driver, the number 20, Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota, Charles Robertson. And we look forward to seeing everybody next week for the World 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway, right here on the iCast Racing Network, powered by iRacing. I am Mike Taylor, up in the booth with my really good friend Dakota LaRue. And from here, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know what to do. Have a wonderful week and have a happy time zone. And we will see you next week from our special start time of probably just about 12:30 Eastern. We will see you guys next week. Have a beautiful week. Bye.
If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna try, maybe you could be with me, but only for the night. And I'll let the window open, baby. Leave my key outside the door. We don't need to tell nobody, but I think I'm ready to be loved. Only for the night. If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna try, maybe you could be with me, but only for the night. And I'll let the window open, baby. Leave my key outside the door. We don't need to tell nobody, but I think I'm ready to be You know it, you know it, so someday.